Oh, that is a nice copper coin, but oh, Doug, do you know what time it is?
45 up.
Who says 45 up, Doug? It's quarter after. What's up, guys? Quarter here, and welcome to another quarter after, where it's an after show of the Hoarder channel. But this week we do have a special guest, my old friend. Not that she's old, but I've known her a long time. You guys may know her as Relic Recoverist. The rest of the world knows her as the Crazy Lamp Lady, and I'll get into that more. She's going to be coming on at 7:30 on the nose, so I'll give her a little bit of a talk up if you don't remember from the metal detecting circles. I'm excited to have her on the metal detecting community. It's the first time she's made an appearance in the detecting world in quite a while. So I'm excited to have her on. Let me do a couple of quick hellos. I see Magic Mantix. I always mess that up. I apologize. 5 Mile Relic Hunter, who I just saw was down in Missouri. Amanda Collins, Relic Rednecks, Audrey Girlinghouse, NEPA History and Archaeology Search. Alan Cleveland. Alan, I got your gift. We did an opening this weekend. I'll send you a picture in a day or so. Traladigs, Jason Yanvari, Yodi's Finds, Hot Mess Fishing, one of our moderators. Our other moderator, Teresa, the treasure hunter, is actually with Charlie Harley today, live in our area. So I want to give her a chance to say hello. So let me bring in Mr. Charles Harley as the first guest of the day.
Hi, guys.
Charlie.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
I'm living the dream, Charlie.
I bet you are.
The dream.
So
Where is the lovely Teresa?
Teresa?
I'm coming.
Whoop, she's right here.
There she is. There's our moderator. You guys have never seen her.
Hi.
I think she's still moderating today, isn't she? Like right next to you?
I am. I was working with it right here.
Teresa's going to be joining us all this weekend at the Come Out Swing and Hunt. So yeah. I'm glad to be able to see her, hunt with her again, get her in the videos. She's good people. And I'm glad that I'll see you in 2 more days, Therese.
That's right. That's right. Enjoy the show, everybody. You're in for a treat.
Thank you. Oh, Bethesda Ministries, DBA Chaplain for Change. Thank you very much. Charlie, what were you doing this week? I know you were doing some sort of something with the church.
Yeah, we have a supper we have it in the spring and we have it in the fall, and we get 1,000 people to come to the event. It's Saturday, so I never get to eat what I cook. I'm the cook.
Ah, yeah, the cook always gets the leftovers.
Yeah, and not only do I cook the turkey, or this year we're having ham. My wife and I, lovely Queen Judy, and we also make the soup to sell and to serve at the event. And we usually get about 1,000 people. So it's it's a big money event for the church. Fundraiser, sure. And whoever comes to Come Out Swinging, if they want a good meal from 3 to 7 o'clock, that's when it's being served. And it's a great meal. Everything's home cooked. From scratch, if you know what I mean by that.
Pies and everything.
Yeah, pies, great pies.
All right, well, sounds good. We'll have to spread the word at the Come Out Swinging event this weekend.
Yeah, yep, they want a good meal.
Let me bring in more of the gang, Charlie, because we've got a jam-packed show, and I want to keep us on schedule. Of course, Mr. Dog Tag Doug, Mexican Doug, Jane Fond Doug. How are you, Dougie?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I saw you got out today digging with Matt for a little bit. How'd you guys make out?
We did very well. Got some silver. We got some really cool relics, some great tokens. It was almost like being at Thousand Holes Field.
Oh, well, I know you didn't dig 1,000 holes today, Doug.
No.
Well,
But what we retrieved was almost like that spot.
Okay, awesome. Let me bring in some more. I'm going to bring in, of course, Lindiana Jones.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, and I got some pictures from this weekend because Lynn had one heck of a successful antique show up in Connecticut. I'm going to show some pictures, but let me bring in the last of the dragons, Mr. Rich Van Winkle. How are you, Rich?
Good. How's everybody doing?
We're good. I'm excited. I see Jocelyn is in the green room, which is always nice because I like to make sure that, like, a few times every day, like, text the guest. I'm like, where are you? But, she's a professional. I'm excited to have her on. You guys are in for a treat. Rare metal detecting sort of appearance for Jocelyn, the crazy lamp lady, aka relic recoverist, Doug. But let me show real fast before I bring her on. Lynn, like I said, had a successful antique show up in Connecticut this weekend. We always announce for people to stop by her booth, and she had several of them. And each one, she takes a picture and autographs a photo in return. Lynn, I have the names written down, but do you remember the names of these people that stopped in to say hello?
I can get them.
I have it. I didn't know if you remembered.
Oh, you have it? Okay, go. You can do it then.
All right, the first one, Clad Warrior. Thank you for the super chat, Clad Warrior. The first one is Mark Gorka, who has a YouTube channel, New England Relic Hunting. Stopped by and got a nice photo there. So thank you very much, Mark, for supporting Lynn at her antique adventures. Then the next one we got is Deb and Joe Paquin, who I remember.
Yeah.
I've seen their names. They show up a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how far they traveled, but thank you for showing up and getting a little snapshot there with Lynn.
They were really nice.
I think they're from New England.
I would hope so. I can't imagine they flew out to see Lynn from Arizona,
Oh, yeah,
but
really.
like, what do I know? Maybe they did.
No, I don't think so.
Then we've got another one. This one is Bob Hess, and he's trying to cover up Doug's face in the picture, which is what I always try to do.
Yeah.
But a little bit of it got
It's understandable.
So Bob Hess, thank you for visiting Lynn. Then we got another one, Mr. John Kelly stopping in. Hopefully Lynn didn't run out of pictures. She had a lot of them stop by this weekend.
I think I have 2 left.
We'll have to get more. We're going to take a new one and update the picture a little bit. And then last but not least, Doug, the 5th person to stop by and see Lynn, our very own Steph Diggs showed up.
Hey, she looks familiar.
She showed up to Lynn's hunt. I think she even bought like an old powder horn from you, didn't she, Lynn? Like
I saw that. That's
Yeah.
neat.
She did,
Very-
and she had her friend Patrick with her, who was really nice.
That's her. Steph Diggs is in the chat already.
And so is the Godfather.
Oh, that's Rich. Hold on. I'm not good at this. There's Steph Diggs.
There she is.
Hey, she looks the same in her picture.
What's that?
She looks the same as in her picture.
Well, you know, Doug, you and I are some of the few people in the world when we've hunted overnights with her. We've seen her without her hair done. And I think she looks terrific. But this is her calling card. You know, this is how the world knows her.
Yep.
So, but Steph, thank you very much. I know Steph wanted to get up there last year when you were in Connecticut, Lynn. Wasn't able to make it, but I'm glad that Steph got up there this time.
We really had a lot of fun.
She's a lot of fun to be around. I always enjoy Steph. And I don't know how far of a drive it was for her, but I'm glad she was able to get over and spend some time at your booth.
Right. Yeah.
I have nice memories of Steph driving up to pound the ground from years ago.
Is that what you call that? A nice memory?
Yes.
Would you stay at the Inn of the Dove?
No.
I was doing about 80 and she passed me and I'm like, hi, Charlie.
Yeah.
No, she was good. What time do I got? 7:24. Doug, I'm going to start talking about Joss in about 3 or 4 minutes and then bring her on. She's got quite a resume. But if you didn't see it, this past weekend was the Show Me Hunt in Missouri that Doug and I were bummed we couldn't take you to.
We missed.
I know some of our moderators were in there, specifically Hot Mess Fishing was down there.
She was there. Yeah.
5 Mile Relic Hunter was there. A Prairie Pirate, our buddy Dave, was down there.
I heard it was another great event.
Yeah, they had a little bit of inclement weather, but not as much as they were planning.
Yep.
But I'm glad it went successful. A lot of good things were found. And then this weekend, like I said, we're going to be at the Come Out Swinging event in Boyertown, Pennsylvania.
My backyard.
Yeah, everyone's free to stay in Charlie's house if you want to come out.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yep.
I have a barn.
Yeah, he's got a
clean
big barn. But no, if you're in the area, the event's sold out. But stop on by. You could say hello. You could check it out for future, and you get to see everyone here. We're all going to be there, the whole crew, including Teresa, Jessica, A KK is going to be there.
Yeah.
A lot of people that you've seen on the channel. It's one of my favorite hunts, and I'm glad to go and support Robert and come out swinging. It should be a fun weekend. Also, inclement weather, Doug, they're calling for.
Take your rain gear.
Yeah.
I don't really own rain gear, but Doug has the big orange head-to-toe jumpsuit.
I got enough for everybody.
You mean we all have to climb in yours with you?
You all climb in with me, yes.
Yeah, that's not uncomfortable. That's not uncomfortable at all.
We get very cozy.
All right, I was going to start announcing Jocelyn, but now she's gone from the green room. So let me see. I think she was
She had to go to the powder room.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, look, there is Deb Paquin, Lynn.
Oh, hey, Deb.
One of the people that got to stop by and see you
Yep.
at the show along with Steph. Did any people were there at the same time, Lynn, or was they all at least separate times?
John Kelly and Steph were there at the same time, and Steph's friend Patrick, and then there was a little bit overlap of some of the others too, but it was so busy at that time with other customers that I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to know from Deb, has she filled our pictures with dart holes yet?
Maybe your picture, Doug. Maybe your picture.
Yeah, she cut it in half, Doug.
Oh, okay.
She just folds it over, Doug. She sits on one end and the other end she puts in a frame.
Okay.
But no, I'm excited that everyone came out. That's when's your next show, Lynn? When's the next one coming up?
The end of April 26th, out in Ohio.
Okay, so we got you for 3 or 4 weeks or so.
Yeah.
All right. I've never even met Steph's digging partner, Patrick. So maybe one day I will get the honor to meet him myself.
Well, I think Nick was supposed to go with her, and she
Green Mountain here. Sorry to interrupt.
Brad's here. Party can start.
Brad is here. The party is starting.
Wow.
Brad brought the beer.
Yeah. I'm glad Brad's here. Next week will be the first video of the Cape Cod trip with Brad and Steph and Eric and oh man, so many good finds. And then we'll have Brad and Steph and Eric all on the show, and we'll kind of talk about that coming up.
I can't believe all these videos that were represented. I haven't gotten in one yet.
No, not yet. What are you talking? What video are you talking about?
The Cape Cod videos.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're in mine, Doug. Don't worry.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right. Let me cut away and start to give Jocelyn an introduction because, like I said, she's got a heck of a resume here. I'm going to bring her up I'll bring it up full screen, Lynn. What the heck?
Sure.
I'll leave it there. That's good enough. You can say her.
Yeah. We might need 4 hours for this show.
No, I'm going to move it along. But
okay.
If you're not familiar with Jocelyn, my metal detecting friends, Jocelyn had a super successful detecting YouTube channel, Relic Recoverist. It's 76,000 subscribers. And how I met her was I knew who she was. We lived, close to each other within a few hours, but I never met her. She was approached by a school to come do an assembly, and they asked if she knew me. And at the time, she didn't. And she could have easily just said, no, I don't know him, and they would have been just content with her. But she reached out to me, asked if I would join her. I was honored to even go. I love doing things for the kids. So I drove 3 hours or so out there, and we did this school assembly for these kids. They were so excited to see us. The newspaper was out there. We hung out for half a day. At the time, Jocelyn was sponsored by Garrett. I think she had Garrett donate detectors to the school. And I had such a good time doing it. I've since done more of these school, assembly things. But I appreciate Jocelyn, sharing the opportunity with me, putting it in front of my eyes. And we became friends after that. We had hunted together several times, even before I met Doug. Some of my old thumbnails, too close for comfort because we got attacked by bees. A lot of farm fields that we went in together. Found some great stuff. And I always hung out with her children, Ashton and Juliet. Mostly Ashton followed me around. Juliet kind of hung by her mom a lot. We shared bananas together. Ashton and I, we found treasures together. It was just a lot of fun. But then Jocelyn started doing another channel, The Crazy Lamp Lady. The Crazy Lamp Lady is a thrifting channel where she would take you with her shopping for antiques and different things and sell them for a profit. And you got taken along on her journey. Now, when we were digging together, she had the Crazy Lamp Lady channel, but it was still very small. But it really started to take off. As you can see now, 8 years later, over 300,000 subscribers on her Crazy Lamp Lady YouTube, over 300,000 on the Facebook. She also has a crazylamplady.com website, and she even started her own e-commerce marketplace called NikNax, which is kind of like a whatnot alternative. And even this site has over 40,000 members with over 100,000 listings right now, including all sorts of people that go live throughout the day. It's a lot of fun. So she is quite the busy little bee. So let me bring her in. I'm super excited. My longtime old friend, Jocelyn, AKA the Crazy Lamp Lady. Let me bring her full screen. There she is, Jocelyn.
Hello.
Hi. How are you guys?
The metal detecting community was so excited when I posted that you were coming on, and I didn't put your Relic Recoverist name in there purposely, but I knew they would recognize you from your face alone.
Yes. Although my hair is not like purple anymore, so.
Well, but that's part of the fun of you. You went through different incarnations. This is one of the tamer looks.
It is.
I like the little stripe in there. It's very Cruella DeVille. Kind of
yes, although I was just talking about going back like crazy purple or pink or, doing something wild. So we'll see.
Yeah. Doug dyes his hair. He dyes it gray.
Right.
And bald.
He dyes all three hairs
30
gray.
seconds.
All three hairs were dyed.
Takes me hours.
I know you remember Doug because we all hunted together.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Charlie, who's up at the top. I think you.
I do remember Charlie.
Okay. Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Nice to see
And then
you.
we have Rich, who's the one with the beard.
Yep. I figured.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
And then Lynn, who is our antiques expert and goes out with us, who now also detects. But Lynn's antiques basically are from the 16 and 1700s. So she does the old school pilgrim kind of stuff. And I know she would still appreciate all the things you do.
Sure. Yeah, awesome.
So let me jump in, Jocelyn, I'm sorry. I want to start the interview with the basics so people kind of know. First of all, what first got you into the thrifting bug? And then was there a particular moment when you said to yourself, oh man, I could really make a living doing this?
Oh gosh. Well, it all started when Ashton was in a stroller, actually. My dad brought home a lamp once from like a church yard sale, and he was like, it was pretty ugly. It was one of those old tulip shade hanging lights. I don't know if you know the ones with like the slag glass. He like brought it home he's like, oh yeah, I got this for $5. And he's like, I'm going to sell it on eBay for $70. And I was like, you're going to sell that for $70 on eBay? It was kind of wild. And I was like, that's crazy. But that kind of like sparked something, like an idea, like, oh, you can go to yard sales and buy stuff for cheap and then sell it for more money. So next weekend I was out pushing Ashton in the stroller and going to look for stuff that I could buy and maybe sell. And that's kind of how it started. So Ashton is turning 14.
Oh my goodness.
Next in a few weeks, the 26th of April.
Oh, I'll have to text him happy birthday. Ashton was my buddy. When we went hunting, like, I don't know where Jocelyn was, but Ashton was by my side and we were on like adventures. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope to get back out with him again one day.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing that you sold, Jocelyn, that you bought with the intention to sell? Do you remember what the first thing was?
I don't know if I remember the first thing I sold. It's a good question. I don't think I don't. I mean, I remember some of the first things I sold. I think I remember the first big crazy thing I sold that I sold for a lot of money. It was a piece of carnival glass.
Oh, yeah.
Exciting thing I sold. And that was, I was at a yard sale and I was just going around, and I noticed on top of somebody's fridge, they had this like really pretty piece of glass. And it was like they had all the stuff out for the yard sale, and then on top of the fridge was this really pretty piece of glass. And I was like, what is that? I was like, is that for sale? And they were like, oh, that? Well, I don't know. That's grandma's, like, I don't know if we're selling that. And then they were like talking to each other, like, we'd have to get $5 for that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy that. So at the time, Carnival glass was worth a little bit more money than it is today. It's kind of come down a bit. So I ended up buying it, and I think I sold it for $300.
Wow.
Yeah, I paid $5 for it, so it was pretty exciting.
Rich, you hearing that? This is what Rich wants to do, something similar. He's all into it. And we'll get into it more, Rich, when we talk about her NikNax site. You might really like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jocelyn, did you grow up knowing about antiques? Did you learn this as you went? Like, did you just kind of like at the beginning, just kind of, oh, that's pretty, I'll take a chance? Or did you have these skills already?
No, I just kind of learned as I went. There was a lot of, one of the things that we talk about a lot in this industry is paying to learn. You know how you pay for an education when you go to college? It's kind of like the same when you're reselling. You pay to learn. You buy stuff and then you realize that, ooh, I'm going to lose money on that. But then you learn a lesson and you're like, I'm never going to buy that again. So you kind of pay to learn. And I've done a little bit of paying to learn.
I would imagine you make some mistakes where something looks really cool and you look it up later and it's just junk.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of that along the way. And, I've been doing it for 14 years now. I don't think a lot of people realize that. They were like, oh, well, you've been on YouTube for doing crazy lamp. I don't know how long I've been doing crazy lamp lady.
I looked it up. Your first video was like, I think 8 years ago.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you deleted some. I know I deleted early videos of mine, but at least 8 years.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. And I think I didn't start getting serious into it until a little bit later. So I think people just assume I've only been reselling for that long, but I've been doing it since Ashton was a baby, which is 14 years now. So there was a lot of trial and error. And I think a lot of people just kind of zero in on like one thing that they want to focus on, and they learn and they know. And that's kind of what I've done is I know glass, I know pottery. That's what I focus on. And like sometimes I'll dabble in other stuff, but I know what I'm good at. And every so often I try to like get into other things. And then inevitably I'm like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
I'm paying to learn again. And I don't want to do that.
So the things that you bought that maybe turned out to be a bust in these early days, do you ultimately wind up redonating it back? Do you throw it away? Is it still in your store somewhere and just keep lowering the price years later? What do you do with it?
Oh, that's a good question. I think in a lot of cases, I end up just holding on to it for a very long time, and then I just get annoyed with it, and I end up selling it for less than I paid for it, and just chalking it up to like, okay, I paid to learn on this one. I mean, that's normally what happens is I just, let it go for less than I paid for it. These days, I'm just kind of over it, and I'll instead of I'll just donate it. Like, I'm not wasting my time on it. I'm just gonna donate it. But it depends also on how much money I have into it. Also,
Yeah, I guess so.
If I have like $100, $200 into it, I'm not going to donate it. I'm going to get as much out of it as I can. But if I got it at Goodwill for $10, it's whatever.
Now, that was one of my questions too is, you put a video up every other day or sometimes every day, which is so impressive. I don't think people realize how impressive that feat is in itself. I mean, that's such an incredibly vigorous schedule to do something every day. And when you watch it, it's really cool because I'm guessing I don't know if you have a GoPro or if you're holding it, but you really take the people along with you. Like, you're picking things off the shelves. You're kind of going through the process in your own head of, do I like this? Is this good? While people are watching and learning, or maybe yelling at you like, oh, buy it. Oh, no, it's no good. It's no good. It really becomes fun, and you don't even realize you've watched a half an hour of just you shopping, making it exciting, finding little treasures along the way. I really enjoyed it, and it's not something that I typically would do, but it makes it really fun. And I even have a plan from our whole group that I'll get into later. But I found it really intriguing. So when you go out, what spots get you the most excited? Is it like a thrift store, like a yard sale, a flea market? Like what really gets you like, oh man, I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm going to go here, there, or the other place.
I don't know. I do enjoy going to Goodwill. I like going to new to me Goodwills a lot. I like the idea of finding, that treasure. Like, and I feel like there's that opportunity at Goodwill where like, oh my gosh, I might find something, and I think that's what everybody loves about Goodwill is there's that potential to find like that one thing, and we see those articles that come out on the news. It's like, oh my gosh, they found this Roman statue that's worth all this money, like stuff like that. That's what's exciting about Goodwill, but I love traveling to antique shows. I love like going to new places. And one of the things I love about traveling is also going to new restaurants and exploring different areas. So I love going to antique shows and flea markets and stuff like that. But usually it's an event. Like I'll go to an event and then I hit up all the Goodwills around the area. So it, I love it all. I love the treasure hunt.
That's fair. Now, when you go in, do you have a price in mind? Like, oh, look, I'm only going to spend this much. Or if you keep finding good stuff, the purse keeps coming out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, it's your livelihood now. I mean, that's, you have to kind of take a chance, but the proof seems to be in the pudding. It seems pretty darn successful.
Yeah.
Was there any one item you can ever remember that you paid a lot for, or more than it turned out, and then you later realized the thing was no good? Like, what was your biggest, as you said, paying to learn moment?
I don't think I've had any like insane pay to learn moments. There's never been anything where like I remember it as like, oh my gosh, like I mean maybe like $100, $200, but nothing more than that. It wasn't like I'm like dying inside, like, oh my gosh, I lost $1,000. Like, no. Although I will say I'm trying to trade in my car now, and I might lose 20,000 on that, and so that one hurts. But
wow.
It's not reselling.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's you can't speak out another year. Like,
that's my worst deal ever on the Jeep. So
wow,
that one hurts.
Hopefully, maybe you'll get a better price. Maybe you'll get
we'll see.
You could work something into it.
That thing was a lemon.
So when you go out to these places, now at this point, you're probably incredibly knowledgeable on different things, like you said. But if you see something you're not familiar with, do you look it up right then and there, like on the internet? Do you go with your gut, especially if it's something unique, and just say, this just looks cool, I think this is going to be a good seller? What's your process of what you do want and what you don't buy, especially if it's something that you're not familiar with?
Normally nowadays, if it's within my wheelhouse, if it's glass and pottery, and I mean, that's what I love. And so that's what I'm drawn to. I'm most of the time going with my gut, and I know what I'm doing. And I mean, I've been working within that niche for a very long time. So I can usually see a piece and be like, oh my gosh, like I know what that is. I'm going to buy that. So I don't usually have to look things up. And also, I mean, if I'm at a Goodwill and I see something for $3, I can be like, oh, well, that's a vase that I know I can get at least $20 for. So regardless of who made it, I know I'm going to at least make money on it. So of course it's a no brainer, so it just kind of depends on where I'm at, how much is being asked for it, what it is. And, there's a lot that goes into the calculation of whether or not to buy something.
Now, I see you're at your store right now.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone, like the metal detecting world that might not watch the Crazy Lamp Lady,
Mm-hmm.
the store that you have behind you, when did you get that? How big is it? And how many items are in this store of yours?
All right. So this is one of our locations. We have two. We have a warehouse in downtown Carlisle, Pennsylvania, where we store a lot of our things. Like antique mall stuff that we pulled out of our antique malls and stuff like that. Our goal for that shop is to eventually turn it into an antique mall, but we got it right before COVID. And then after COVID hit, we couldn't open for business, and we filled it up. We opened for e-commerce. We hired people. And then we just did eBay auctions 7 days a week. We had a bunch of employees. And so we just started operating out of that building, and now it's a warehouse. But then we opened this place when I started NikNax. And it's an old church. So it's like about the size of an old chapel. So like there's a stage over here. This is my little desk area. And you can see I've got lots of items behind me. Like whenever I run my live sales, I have a sale coming up this weekend. These are the items for that sale. The items back there, items that we need to list. So it's just, this is what we do.
How long did it take you to come up with a way to stay so organized when you have so many things? That's got to be overwhelming, just to have everything in the right spot. Remember what you paid so you know what you have to sell it for, finding it, shipping it all, boxing it up. Like, do you have a team that's helping you? Oh, you have a whole team. Okay.
Yeah, I have a really amazing team behind me because I'm not a very organized person. I have the worst ADHD. And I'm all over the place. But fortunately I have a team that is like, Jocelyn, come on, focus. And they help organize me and make sure that I stay on task. And so the girls are constantly, it's funny, you might see the Post-its over here on the shelves.
Yes.
They're constantly labeling everything for me, and then I'm moving it around on them. And it drives them nuts. They're like, wait, whoa. I thought the shelf was for, and I'm like, no, I moved that. That's over here now. And so every week I'm moving the things.
Well, there's so many. How many things are in the building with you now? I mean, are there thousands?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got a couple. Yeah, probably a couple thousand. But so we have things listed on eBay. My plans are to phase out eBay. It doesn't make sense to be. I mean, I always tell our sellers on NikNax, our sellers, people who follow me, not to have all your eggs in one basket, but to be the owner of an e-commerce site. I feel like I'm putting all my eggs in that basket. So we're looking to phase out eBay in our spot. But I don't know. I have like 100 things listed on eBay right now and a couple hundred on NikNax. But normally what we do are live sales. So we don't have a whole lot of buy it now listings. We do a lot of the live selling. So when we are planning a sale, that's when we list the items and then we sell them and then they go out the door. So there's not a whole lot of listing the item and having it sit for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. We just list it and it's gone.
Oh, okay. So it's a much faster turnover. That's got to be a good process.
Yeah.
I was going to get into the NikNax a little bit later, but since we're talking about it, can you tell everyone what that is? I mean, I heard rumblings on when you were doing it. I guess it's been a couple of years now, but it wasn't until like the last month that I really started looking at it. It's a really cool place. Can you tell people what it is? Because anyone out there can set up an account to both buy and sell. Mm-hmm. And can you let everyone know exactly what it is and what they would need to do if they wanted to sign up?
Yeah, sure. So NikNax is powered by District. District is basically like a Shopify. Their whole goal is to be like, essentially act as a Shopify. So like, if you set up a Shopify store, you can basically like list your products and you can have a Shopify store. Well, District's whole idea is not just to have a Shopify store, but to have a Shopify marketplace where, anyone can have a marketplace. So they reached out to me and they wanted to, they're like, hey, you would be a great candidate to have your own marketplace. We should try this. And I actually ghosted them for like a straight year. And I was like, yeah, okay. Sounds like a great idea. But I ghosted them. And then after like a year, I was like, okay, maybe let's give this a try. So I reached back out to them and I was like, okay, let's make this happen. And so I got talking with them and we started setting everything up and just decided to go for it. So we crashed District, which was awesome. We brought the whole site down. It was incredible. They were like, we even asked them beforehand. We were like, "Are you sure you got this? You can hit?" They're like, "Yeah, it'll be no problem." It was awesome. So it was from the very beginning. It was just amazing. We had our launch in November, so October 20. That was last year, 2023. It's 2023 we launched. November 26th, 2024, we had our first big event. Like a bunch of my friends all had sales simultaneously. That was like our big launch. And then we started accepting sellers. So now we're at 4,000, over 4,000 sellers, over 100,000 listings. It's grown outstanding. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar marketplace, and it's grown beyond whatever I could ever imagine. And it's a great community. It's family friendly. You know, a lot of people are on Whatnot, and Whatnot's great. But the one thing I love about NikNax is it's family friendly. It's positive. We don't tolerate bullying or trolling or any of those things. And I just think it really sets it apart. So that's what I love about our community and what we've built. So we're a little bit over a year in, and it's fantastic. So
now it is cool. And when I'll bring the screenshot up again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like she said, there's 4,000 members on here and growing, I'm sure, every day.
40,000. And then 4,000 sellers. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 40,000.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And you can see, like on the screenshot that I took, you know, these 4 people at least were live at that moment selling their list of things. So how it works, I'm guessing, is people can set up and sell live and have an auction style, aka like Whatnot would do.
Yeah.
But there's also static listings, 100,000 static listings that they can essentially, those are like a buy it now type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. What was that?
So the 100,000 static listings are just buy it now for whoever happens to be on the site.
The 100,000 is kind of a mix of live selling and buy it now and multi-day. But since the live selling is like they're listed and then they go out, like the live selling is very like quick to move. The majority of the 100,000 are in fact buy it now listings. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So if somebody out there, let's say they've got a collection of antiques they've had their whole life and they want to move them out. If they went on NikNax and they signed up as a seller account, if someone had no experience, does it walk them through the process of how to do this easily and start live auctioning? Because it seems like it could be overwhelming if you don't have the baby steps leading up to it. How would you recommend someone start off in this?
The way the process works is you have to apply to become a seller. Currently, we have over 800 applications.
Wow.
Seller. And every week I go through and I approve. Well, not every week, but I go in and I approve sellers. And, you know, the applications just keep flooding in, which is amazing. But one thing that's been really important to me in growing NikNax and, you know, because it's a problem I've seen on other e-commerce sites is a buyer to seller ratio. So part of the problem you'll see is there's too many sellers and not enough buyers. Gotcha. So in growing NikNax, it's been really important to me to always look at our analytics and see, okay, how many buyers do we have on the marketplace? How many people are buying? What are our numbers? You know, how much are our sellers making? And when I see things going really well, that's when I'll add more sellers. So as long as I see like a healthy ratio, as long as I see things are healthy, then I'll start adding in new sellers.
Okay, I see.
So there is a little bit of a waiting period, but once you're approved as a seller, you can instantly start listing your buy it now listings and multi-day auction.
Gotcha.
So multi-day auction is a little bit like eBay. You can do 3-day, 5-day. You know, you can do your multi-day auctions, or you could do buy it now. And then if you want to go live, you just do an onboarding. So it just, you do onboarding with somebody from District, Sienna, and she'll walk you through the process. She'll show you what buttons to press and how to go live.
Okay.
And then you're good to go.
There was a question, Mud SWAT. Now, it's not a Facebook group. It's a website you can go to. It's niknax.net, niknax.net. I'm sure there's an FAQ that will walk you through any questions you have.
Yes.
And she's kind of going over it a little bit now. I was checking out earlier today. It's really interesting. And what I liked about it is, you know, Jocelyn, who's got, you know, a massive YouTube channel, she was able to simultaneously stream the Netflix auction to her YouTube channel. So she's always bringing in new buyers that way, helping out the site for everyone,
Yes.
which is really nice. Now, can other people do that? Can they stream their social media as well as the NikNax? Oh, so that's great. You'll grow exponentially that way.
Yeah. And we can actually, our team can also stream other sellers to the social media. Our social media.
Gotcha.
So what we'll do is, you know, a lot of the times during our big events, like we have a huge event. Here's a plug. We have a huge event coming up this weekend. It's our glass gallery where we're selling a bunch of glass, like antique glass and stuff. So during that event, we have sellers live selling all day, every day. And what we'll be doing is we'll be actually sharing those live streams, not just to our NikNax Facebook page, but to the Crazy Lamp Lady Facebook page, which has over 300,000 followers. So we're actually posting our sellers out to my social media on Crazy Lamp Lady.
Gotcha. Well, that'll definitely help it grow.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then your seller criteria, like you were saying, you have to keep that seller buyer ratio. Yeah. If I were to set up an account and I wanted to sell, I put an application. Do they have to choose like what kind of items they sell? Like, in other words, maybe I'm the 300th person that sells dishes, but maybe I'm the first person that sells Pokemon cards or whatever. Like, do they have to put in a criteria that way? You'd be like, well, we don't need another person in this category, but we sure could use one in this category.
Yeah, no, I always encourage people to like put what they sell. And I'm not going to like not allow somebody for, you know, what, well, I mean, I say that, but I mean, if they're selling something a little, you know, so there's some things that aren't allowed on there.
Family friendly, you said, family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly. But you know, right, like right now we have a ton of jewelry sellers. So, you know, I'm just kind of watching the numbers on jewelry, making sure that, you know, the jewelry market on our marketplace is healthy. And if I see the numbers doing really well, I'm going to approve more jewelry sellers. You know, it's the same like overall market and then like the little markets in between. Because jewelry is really huge on NikNax right now. Clothing is really starting to pop. It's really awesome. We had somebody buying a prom, like we have vintage, you know, clothing doing really well. And we had somebody buying a prom dress on NikNax live the other night, which was amazing. It was a vintage 1970s sequin gown. They were buying it for prom, which was so cool.
Wow, that is cool.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
No, I guess that's the new thing. You know, thrift stores are so popular. My wife does it. She goes out and buys things and, you know, very small. Maybe she'll sell one thing a week, and she gets all excited when her phone makes an alarm, and you know, like
that's a
it really is exciting. You know, I alluded earlier. I had a game that we were going to play. I was going to try to get my whole gang together. We would all go out to like a thrift store. We'd all have $20. We'll see who can buy the coolest thing, and then maybe we'll sell them on a platform like NikNax and see who does the best. You know what I mean? Like, who's got the eye? Now, Lynn's got a huge advantage, but we would try something like that. I think it would be cool.
We could totally set that up. We could do a raid train. You guys could all go live and just raid into one another, and it could be a competition. It could be really cool.
Yeah, because none of us know what we're doing. So like
that would make it so much better. That would be
who's
so
got
cool.
the best eye?
I could be the referee. I could be like, all right, guys, come on, let's do it.
I'm going to set something up. I'm going to do it.
All right, we're going to do this.
Now I have a quick game, Joss. I wanted to play a quick game. I like games.
Oh boy.
So here's how the game's going to work. And this is a game for everyone in the audience as well as my panel off to the side. So I tried to find some images of some things online that sold.
Okay.
And I'm going to put up side-by-side images of two things that sold. One sold for an extraordinary amount of money. The other one sold for next to nothing.
Oh, this is fun. Okay.
And I'm going to see just visually. Like, I know if you were out to a store, you got to pick it up. You got to look for makers and chips and all that. But let's say you walked in and you can only see it behind the counter.
Okay.
That's all you got to go by.
Oh,
I'm going to bring it up full screen. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Here's the first one.
Is there a time limit? Okay.
Now I'll give you a couple minutes. This is what you walk in. You see these two mugs.
Okay, I already know.
She already know. I'll go down my order then real fast. Rich, which one do you think is the better mug?
The one on the right.
The one on the right. All right, Lynn?
The right.
On the right. Doug?
What are you drinking in it?
For you, anything that'll keep you awake.
I'm I kind of like the antiquity looking one on the left.
On the left? Okay. Charlie, what's your guess?
That's really tough. I'm going to go with Doug.
On the left. So we're
Yeah.
split. Before Jocelyn gives her answer, I'm going to go through the chat and see. I'm seeing right from Show Me Treasure, Rose Mug, on the right. Jersey Ray Diggs says left. Now I'm seeing a lot of other lefts. Jocelyn, which one would you pick out of those two mugs if you could only buy one?
I'm going to say the one on the right. Looks
The
like
one on the
it
right?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. Are you ready, Doug?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the one on the left, the rose mug, sold for $8.91. The one on the right sold for $2,151.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody got screwed.
Jocelyn was correct.
No.
Jocelyn was
Mocha-ware.
correct. I have a few of them. I'll bring more in later. I don't want to do one.
And let me just say something. Charlie's been going with me ever since we were in the outhouse together.
Jocelyn's who you're talking about. I have a clip of them in a double seat outhouse in a video. It was really funny. We pretended to open the door or whatever. All right, let me go back to my question list because that messed me all up here.
Yeah.
I saw in some of your videos you bring Juliet with you now. Is she your little thrifting helper? And there she is. There's Juliet. I see a cameo. She's starting to pick up the eye. Now we used to call Juliet Sissy. Does she still go by that nickname?
Still goes by Sissy. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
She looks just like you.
They have a similar haircut now too.
Yeah.
Haircut. It seems like Juliet was like 5 years old. How old is she now?
How old are you now?
11.
11. Yeah. So it's probably been about 7 or 8 years since we've hunted with her. So now do you have a big score where you're like, Mom, I like this, and my mom sold it for you and you made a big profit?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh, you're getting better though, right? You're getting better. All right. Well, thank you for the cameo. So let me see here. I got so many questions. I'm trying to get them in here. How about some tips for people? Now, I know you do most of the live stuff now on the NikNax, but when you started off, you were selling on eBay and the traditional places.
Yeah.
When you were selling that, do you find that, are there tips you can give to people as far as like the title? How important was your title listing? How important were your photographs? Like the things that people don't think about to give them a better chance of selling through your experience, what should they be doing so they get the most exposure they can?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we always tell our sellers on NikNax, how important it is to make sure they're using the right keywords. They give you all those characters for your title. So make sure you're using them. Doesn't make sense to be like, oh, coffee mug. Like, okay, what color is it? What's it made of? Is it marked on the bottom? Who makes it? Is it vintage? There's so many keywords that you can use, to get your listings found. And a lot of people don't use those. And then as far as photos go, for me, when I'm buying something, if there's not a photo of the bottom, like that's a huge deal breaker for me. I'm not going to buy something if I don't have a photo of what the bottom looks like. And I think that goes for a lot of, so make sure you take photos of every side, the top and the bottom,
No, you're right. And I always thought that was so important, is to, whatever you do online, to really maximize that title. Because, Doug, think about it. If you were going to go on eBay and buy something, who knows what you're going to look up? If you were going to buy a dog bowl, maybe you type in dog bowl, but maybe Lynn types in puppy dish. Who knows? So you have to try to anticipate what your potential buyers may or may not be looking up and make sure that those keywords are represented.
Yes.
So like she's saying on her NikNax site, you really want to maximize the seller exposure by capturing the right keywords in the category you want, along with good pictures, because pictures are like 1,000 words, right, Doug?
Yep.
And then measurements and condition. If you have chips or cracks, you want to include that in your description, as well as, how tall is it? There's
Now that's true. Like when you're out thrifting, if you saw like an awesome bowl or mug or something ceramic or pottery, but as you're looking at it, it's got an ugly chip in it. Do you still buy it? Do you factor in how much it could bring in, or is that a total deal breaker for you?
I will make exceptions. A lot of people complain that I make exceptions, but I will make an exception for some chips or cracks. I actually once passed up on everybody was complaining that I was making exceptions, and they kind of got in my head. And I once passed up on a vase that I later found out was worth like $16,000 because it had
goodness.
a little chip on it.
Now, what do you think you would have got for that vase, even with the chip?
A couple thousand.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that your biggest regret? Was that your biggest thing that you had in your hand and left on the table?
Yes.
Oh, that's gotta stink, Doug.
Yep, I picked it up. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, it's got a little chip on it. I put it back. And then I was ahead in videos, so I didn't post the video until 2 weeks later. And as soon as it dropped, I started getting like comments like, oh my gosh, do you realize what that was? And my friend Peter was in my DMs. He's like, you got to go back for the vase. I went back. It was gone.
Oh, yeah, someone else.
It's okay.
It's a good lesson. Jersey Ray Diggs, thank you, Jersey. Or she's going to guess the correct one last time. Jersey Ray Diggs, Rachel. You remember Rachel?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep,
Jocelyn, let me break away from the thrifting just for a second.
Yeah.
I know you're so busy, and as much as you'd love metal detecting, it just doesn't fit into your time schedule. But how bad do you miss this community that loved you?
I do.
So
I've actually
long.
been thinking about it a lot lately, and I am wanting to get back out. I've been like itching for it. I'm like, it's getting warm. You might see a video pop up.
Well, keep your eyes out. The channel's still alive. It's still growing, too. It's still growing.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it's at 76.1. And when I looked at it like a few months ago, I think you got like an extra 500 subscribers. Hasn't been a video in years.
Funny. Well, that's so funny because it was at 80 something. So I think it like was dropping. So
then I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just fluctuating. I don't know.
Well, sometimes YouTube does a purge. They
I know.
get rid of the dead accounts. So I think it'll be exciting. I think people would love to see it. I know they were excited that you were coming on here. And if you want to get back out, I don't live that far away. Pick up the phone.
I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna be like, hey, let's go.
You can hit us up. I'm gonna bring up another one of our games. Are you ready? I'm bringing up another one.
Okay.
Doug, you paying attention?
What? Yes.
All right, good. All right, here we go. I'll bring it full screen, Josh, so you can take a look.
All right.
These are both 10-inch plates. So they're the same size. Everybody get a good look. Doug, Charlie, I'll start with you and work backwards this time. Charlie, which one do you think is the better plate?
Oh, that's tough. I'm looking at it carefully. The Oriental one looks like it might be valuable. The one on the left.
One on the left. All right, Doug?
Yes.
Yeah, I got to go with it's either Chinese or Japanese art.
On the left.
On the left.
All right, Lynn, which one are you, Lynn? You got one plate. You got $5 in your pocket. You can only get one.
Yeah, this is tough. Well, I think that they're both Oriental, actually, but I'm going to say the right. Just
on the
be
right?
Different. Yeah.
All right, Rich?
I got to go left.
Oh, so 3 for left, 1 for right. Let me look at the chat before Joss makes her decision. I'm seeing, oh my goodness, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Left, right. It seems to be split down the middle. Now, Joss, this is a tough one, Jocelyn.
I know. I'm looking at it. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I know this one.
I tried to pick hard ones. So, and these are ones you'll probably never see, But you only got $5. Oh, maybe I lost her. Let me see.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, she's still there.
Oh, wait.
Which one? If you only got $5, you can only get one.
You see me now?
I can't see you.
You can't see me? Okay, hang on.
All right.
Hang on 1 sec. But you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. My camera just did something weird. I'm going to say the one on, I'm going to be different. I'm going to say the one on the right because I just don't know.
All right, the one on the right. All right, here we go. Doug, are you ready for the results, Doug?
No, I'm ready to get, okay, disappointed.
Right. Let's see. The one on the left, $10. Good sale, Charlie. You would have doubled your money, Charlie. The one on the right, $787, Doug.
Oh my gosh.
Doug, you're 0 for 2. You're 0.
And Lynn said she kind of thought it was Oriental as well.
I don't think
Oh, they're both Oriental.
is a
Yeah.
word you're supposed to use anymore. I think Asian is the word.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I'm not that crass.
All right. Well, apparently you were. I can't see Jocelyn. I don't know if we're going to be able to see her.
We
again.
can hear her.
Okay, yeah, no, hang on. I gotta fix my web camera.
Okay.
What do you want, baby? Yeah, it just powered down for some reason. Give me 1 sec.
All right. While she's doing that, I'll bring up one more, Doug. I'll bring up
Okay.
another one. All right. I'll do a full screen.
To Lynn first, so I can follow her.
Did that work?
Uh-oh. Hold on. Wait. Oh, I almost, darn it. I messed it up. Did you see the answer, Lynn?
Briefly. I don't know. That I
Oh, it was
registered
playing. I ruined it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, Lynn, did you all see it? Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I know the answer, so.
All right, I'll give the audience, they may have saw it already, but get audience and anyone on my group, if you didn't see the answer, what's your, speak up now and make your guesses. I guess they saw it. All right, Jocelyn, which one do you believe is the good one and which one the not so good one?
Oh my gosh. Well, now I don't know. Everybody's saying. Oh, wait.
Let me bring it back up. I'll put us over there. Okay. They're both $5. You only got a Lincoln in your pocket.
I was gonna say the Fenton Alley Cat, but now everyone's like,
which one's that one? I don't even know.
The one on the left.
The one on the left. All right.
Yeah.
Lynn, you think the one on the left?
Yep.
All right, let's take a look. It already played through, but the one on the right, $16. That's still a good profit. But the one on the left, $1,100. And you're right, it was Fenton. I don't even know how you knew that. Apparently, and look how they use those keywords. Fenton signed, red, white, and orange, amberina, glass, alley cat. So that's why they did so well. So there you go. Somebody could have bought that in a thrift store for $5. You never know. And that's the beauty. That's the above ground treasure hunting that she goes on and tries to hope. How often do you get a mega score like that, Joss, where you find something for, $5, $10, $20 and it's worth $1,000?
Not very often.
Yeah, that's got to be a real good one. Like normally you're probably hoping for, is there like a limit, like double, triple?
Yeah, I mean, I usually hope to double. I like to make, like, I'm usually happy if it's like $100, $200. Like that's exciting. That's usually like where it's like, oh, this is awesome. That's exciting.
So, Jocelyn, I'd like to ask you, do you have any clients that have you on retainer and they tell you what to look for, and if you see it, grab it for them? No?
No, I was surprised. You know what I saw, Josh, when I was looking, I try to deep dive into everyone because we haven't hung out in a while. So in looking through Jocelyn's stuff the last week or two, I was seeing on like forums and stuff that, let's say Jocelyn in her video shows shows like this mug, hypothetically, and she picks it up and she talks about it for 30, 40 seconds. Well, now suddenly this mug starts to become more valuable because you're such a high person in this community. Have you seen that? I saw people in the forum saying, oh, this thing wasn't worth that much, but Crazy Lamp Lady was talking about it, and now it's going for a little bit more. That's got to be awesome that you are fluctuating the market based on what you talk about.
I mean, I think there is some influence there. I mean, I wouldn't say like I am a huge, like I can influence the market, but I mean, like, I think people get excited for some of the things. I think I'm able to, like, my excitement is contagious. I feel like, because I'm excited for it. I feel like other people get excited for it. Like glass is my passion, and they see that I'm excited for it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is exciting," And I feel like that's what it is, more so than, "Oh my gosh, if the Crazy Lamp Lady likes it, it's worth money." I think it's more of the excitement being contagious.
No, I can see that. How many pieces do you buy to sell, but then when you get home, you're like, "Oh no, I got to keep this. I love it too much," and you become a hoarder. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of it. Okay. All right. That's fair. Do you have to like once a year? Do you have a purge, or you're like, look, I just got to get rid of some stuff?
Yeah, occasionally I'm like, I'm like, all right, I'm tired of looking at this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just the shop. How many things like go to the house? Like go to your.
Not very. I try
so
not
it's got to
to.
be really special to go to the.
Yeah,
right,
no.
Gig Master, thank you. Another metal detecting. A lot of metal detecting people in the chat, but I'm also seeing a lot of people I don't know, which may be Jocelyn people. I saw you were live right before our show. I saw it on YouTube, and I tried to get in, but I wasn't able to comment. I guess because to keep around to keep like the baloney stuff out, you had to figure out a way that every Tom, Dick, and Harry couldn't just bid.
Yeah, well, no, it's those bots. I don't know if you've had the issue where when you're live, like they all just come in and it's like really bad spam, and like they say like some really crazy things if you don't like put your subscribers only on.
I don't know. I mean, Doug's my moderator. Doug, does that happen?
No. I let everybody in.
Doug, I'm lucky if Doug stays awake, Jocelyn. That's my goal.
I'm really impressed that you're not really having any, but I mean, as soon as I go live, they're like in there and they're like making fart jokes and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like,
I've got a pretty good group where everyone's usually it's a lot of the same people every week, and the live viewers that come in, it's more of a tighter family, and I don't get a lot of shenanigans. Now watch, I'll say that and I'll get something.
Yeah.
But I do have Alicia Hot Mess Fishing, one of my moderators, Jersey Ray Diggs,
Teresa
the Treasure Hunter.
I think
they're very, very good.
Your videos are wide and not vertical. Because when you have the vertical videos, it goes in the shorts feed. And when you're in the shorts feed, that's where all the trolls come from.
See, I don't like the shorts. I'm very long-winded. Yeah. I like the old school landscape kind of. Wicked Digger, another moderator. I didn't mean to not include. But no, I mean, we're for the most part, like I said, now I'm going to get jinxed with all sorts of but no, it's pretty good. I have a picture here, Doug, too. I'm going to go to I'll bring this one up real fast for anyone who knows Jocelyn as Crazy Lamp Lady. When she was doing the metal detecting, not only was she sponsored by Garrett and traveled around the world detecting to other countries, they put her on the box of, at the time, their brand new machine. And I had to go through your old videos this week to find it again. I remember when that came out. What a super cool honor that is.
That was the AT Pro, right?
The AT
no,
Max.
That's the Max.
The Max, okay.
The Max. So, I mean, I remember when that came out, like that's like the crescendo of that's the ultimate respect there, that they put you on the box.
Cool.
It was really cool. Did you?
It was a really cool shot, though. Brian like really caught it. I mean, that was like.
Well, look at it. That's a cool angle. I remember that was your thumbnail in a video at the time too. I remember.
Yeah.
Do you still have that box somewhere in your house?
Somewhere.
Sure okay, not sure.
I have a bunch of the AT Maxes.
Oh, you still have more than one. You're gonna have to blow the dust off soon and get back out there. But that was another really cool one. I'm gonna bring up another thing, Doug, because I kind of enjoy the game.
Okay.
Are you ready, Josh? I'm gonna bring up another one.
Yeah.
What time is it? 8:18. Here we go. I'll bring it up full screen. Take a look. These are both not porcelain, like ceramic figurines.
Ay.
One of them is really good. One of them not so good. Rich, I'll start with you on this one.
I'm going to go left.
On the left? All right. Rich, have you gotten one right yet?
The first one I got right.
All right, so you're 1 for 3. Lynn, I'll go to you second.
Oh, I don't know this stuff. I think I'm going to say left as well.
Left. Doug, you're 0 for 3. Come on, Doug.
Yeah, well, let's make it 0 for 4. I'll go with the right.
All right. All right, Charlie.
I'm 0 for 3, but I'm going to go with Doug again.
You're going with the right.
Thanks, Charles.
All right, let me
I'm
bring
hang
in
with my
Jocelyn.
buddy.
Jocelyn, you got $5. These are both $5. Which one are you buying? Which one are you leaving?
I'm going to go with right.
You're going to go with the right? All right, let's see. Here we go. The first one on the left. $7.99 for
I
that.
feel better.
Let's see. Let's see. The second one could be worse. It could be worse.
I doubt
No.
it.
The second one, $400, Doug.
Oh.
$400.
Way to go,
Jocelyn,
Dougie.
I think Jocelyn's 4 for 4. I think she's no joke. She's just not, she's the real deal. Why do I keep doing that? I've got one left. I'll save it for down the road. I just thought it'd be something kind of fun. The audience, if anybody is 4 for 4 in the audience, please put it in there, and I will give you a shout out for going 4 for 4. I got all of them right, Doug, but I did put the game together.
Yeah. Doesn't count.
Now, I know you said you have help, Jocelyn, helping you sort everything, box it all up. Again, for new people out there, do you have any tips and tricks on how to send these things out, ways to save on shipping, ways to ease the process? Because it can be a daunting task to do an auction on NikNax. Let's say they sold 60 things. Well, now you've got a day or so to get all these things out the door. How can they go about that most important step of getting these items safely to the people that bought them?
Well, it's always important when you're live selling, especially, not to get ahead of yourself. It's really easy to oversell, and then you're stuck with this huge pile, and then you're like overwhelmed. That's so easy to do, because it's so easy to just hold up an item and then it sells and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. And you pick up another one, and then you're stuck with a pile of boxes and you have to get them out. And it's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So you have to be really careful. You have to it's easy to sell them, but just limit yourself, get them sold and out the door, and then do another sale, and just stay on top of your shipping. Because shipping is always the part that nobody wants to do. But as far as, keeping your shipping costs down, usually we have it so that the buyer pays shipping and it's calculated. So I have a scale over here. I have my ruler, which I'm playing with, but we measure it so we know which box it's going in. We know how much it weighs, and then it's all calculated. So it's based on where I live in relation to where our buyer lives, and they pay shipping. And then every item after that is progressive.
Sure.
But we have all our packing supplies. You want to make sure you have boxes available before you sell the item, so that after the fact you're not scrambling.
Right.
So make sure, even if that means asking all your neighbors for their Amazon boxes, or going to Dollar General and asking them hey, can I have your boxes? Just making sure that you have boxes and packing supplies available.
And what's the turnaround time that you ask your sellers after the sale when that thing should be in the mail?
We allow for 3 business days.
Okay. So 3 business days. So I agree with you that if you think you got a sale coming up, be prepared, have your boxes ready, have your bubble wrap ready, because, credibility in this world is everything. And the faster you can ship it out, and the safer you can ship it out, the more likely you're going to have, more sales going forward. So let me see. I got a couple of them. And Doug, Lynn, Rich, Charlie, while I'm going through some of the questions over to the right, if you guys have any questions for Jocelyn, and in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Jocelyn, please put them in there. I will keep an eye out, and we'll try to put them all up there. I do see Dave Hart was saying that priority mail boxes from the post office are free. I know that's a good tip.
That's true.
So thank you for that. And I know some people were saying that there's places like Pirate Ship and third parties that you can get cheaper shipping on. So do your research, know what you're doing, and get in there. And I'm telling you, you sell 1 thing, 2 things, you start to get that bug. And it's so exciting. It's hard to explain. It's like what we do, Doug. We're looking for it under the ground. She's looking for it in climate controlled buildings, which is nice. So we don't have to get rained on all the time. But it's an awesome treasure hunt.
Yeah, and it beats dumpster diving, huh?
Yeah. And the person that buys it, they're going to appreciate it because they spent their money on it. So it's going to a good place too, which is really nice. Hold on, let me get my other one here.
Hey, Jason, I have a question to ask
Yes.
Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Where we live, I'm not far from you, by the way. I live in Berks County. We have a lot of we have a lot of auctions in our area. It seems like it's a Pennsylvania Dutch thing where when someone dies or whatever, they have these auctions. You ever go to like a household auction because they're very common around here. You ever go to one like
Estate
a estate
sales.
auction?
Yeah, I go mostly. I do mostly online auctions. So I'll get online and I'll bid on auctions. We have done in-person auctions in the past, but usually I'll just bid online and do it that way. But a lot of people ask me why I don't go to estate sales. I don't think they realize that in our area it's primarily auctions. We don't really have estate sales here.
Right.
You know, almost everybody does auctions. It's like somebody
There's a
passes
lot of
away.
auctions. I thought maybe you could find some cool stuff there. A lot of old stuff there that would be valuable, but the people that go there would not realize the value that's there.
Oh yeah. I get some really
antiques.
great stuff at auctions.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple of estate sales in my area. We must have more, because I live a little more urban.
Yeah.
And I've gone to a couple, if I saw online of pictures of things that I'd be interested in. And I would get there as they're getting ready to open, and there was like 30 people in line. And they only let like 5 or 10 into the house at once. Yeah. And those are the dealers that just, grab all the good stuff and that's over.
And they usually have their camping chairs set up I
guess. Yeah, the
sun comes up.
Yeah, it's like there's people that camp outside of the Best Buy when the new iPhone's coming out, Charlie. It's probably super competitive. And even in the thrift stores, do you find that when you're in there, there's more and more people? Do you ever come across another person filming for their social media channel?
Not really. There's not really a whole lot of other thrifting YouTubers.
Have you ever had a problem in a store with management or another customer because you were filming? They didn't like it for one reason or another.
Yeah. Which one? Oh yeah, there was one issue at an antique mall once. I'm like, oh yeah, there was that one issue. Yeah, I went into an antique mall once, and I asked the manager behind the counter if I could film, and she said I could. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. And so I started going and shopping, and I was filming, and then this man came charging up to me, and he started screaming at me, really abrasive and yelling. And he's like, "Are you the one filming?" And I'm like, "What? Yes. Hi." And he was just screaming at me to the point that I started crying. And he's like, "Are you filming the coins?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm filming this figurine, right?" Okay, I'm done. Wow. And it was so scary. And I was I started crying. It was horrible. It was absolutely
Were you by
horrible.
yourself?
Yeah, I was. I was on my way. We were on our way to go do an auction pickup, and we were driving separate. So Andrew was actually, I think he was behind me, or no, he was in front of me, and he was already at the auction house or something. And I called him, and I was crying. He came back after I left, and he walked in and.
Yeah, I know him. I know how he probably was.
Yes, where the owner was. Because this is the owner. And he shook the guy's hand and squeezed it really hard. And he's like, I'm the boyfriend of the girl you just sent out of here crying. And he gave the guy a piece of his mind.
I'm surprised another customer wouldn't say anything when they see some man yelling in some woman's face.
Well, there wasn't anyone else in there, and after looking through the reviews, I wasn't the first one he yelled at. He apparently has had a lot of issues. He's since passed away. I guess he threatened some vendors with a gun, and then
God.
Wow. All right. This might go down a cold, dark way. Maybe
it did. Yeah, it did definitely. So. He obviously had some mental illness, but it was scary to know what the outcome was, what could have transpired that day. I still think about it. It was not good.
No,
but that happened.
Well, luckily only once, one time, one bad experience in all these years you're doing it. I guess that's good.
Yeah, I always ask for permission, and I'm very clear that I'm just filming the things. I try very hard not to film people. I try to focus, and that's why a lot of people ask why I don't use the chest mount like GoPro, is because I like having control of where I'm pointing my camera, so I'm not pointing it at other people. Because I try not to film people. I try to just focus on things I'm picking up, and so.
No, it's really cool, and it's hard when you're picking them up. It looks like you're using a handheld camera. So when you're picking things up, I know from being a YouTuber that if I'm looking at the actual mug, it's likely it's going to drift out of frame. So are you looking at the things through your cameras to make sure that the audience is seeing what you're seeing? And then it's got to be hard to see small maker's marks. Like, is there a challenge to doing essentially two things at once? You're filming content, but also sourcing items. Like, how do you have a hard time with that, or you just got it down to a system at this point?
I mean, at this point, the camera has kind of become an extension of me.
Yeah, that's I get it. I get it.
You know, it's like I don't even. Although sometimes I will be like, oh crap, I didn't even get that in frame. But most of the time, I'm not even looking, and it's like it's pretty much like I've got it.
Yeah, because you're narrating the whole time. I mean, do you think there's people in the row behind you that think you're a crazy person, that you're talking to yourself? Or
They do.
Yeah,
I get weird
which
looks
is
all the
good.
time.
Then they'll leave you alone. That's a good thing. They don't
It
bother
is.
you. Now that was a good question. Now, let me bring up one more, Doug. I got one last one more picture. This one I tried to make really easy.
This thrift stuff. Thrift.
All right, Doug?
Big time, big time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Here we go. This one I tried to make super duper easy. Everybody out there should get this one. Doug, I'm going to start with you. You got $5. You can buy either pile, Doug. Which one you buying?
One on the left.
Any reason why?
Well, no.
No reason. Okay.
It just looks
It calls to you.
aesthetically pleasing.
All right, it calls to you. Lynn, which one do you like, left or right? You got $5.
I don't like either of them, but I would buy the one on the left.
I agree with Lynn.
All right, that's fair. I actually do like one of them, but that's besides the point.
Yeah,
Rich,
the left.
which one are you buying, left or right?
Left.
Left? All right.
Yep.
Charlie, how about you?
Well, I'd say the one on the right because the one on the left we have in our cupboard now.
Okay. All right, that's good. Maybe or maybe not, you'll be getting a visitor after this show. Jocelyn, you got $5. You can buy one pile, left or right. Which one you going with?
The one on the left.
Juliet, how about you? You got $5 from mowing the lawn. You can only buy one pile. Which one you going with?
Left.
The left? All right, let's take a look and see who's right.
It's unanimous,
Everyone said left. Let's take a look.
except
No, I say
Charlie.
right.
Except for Charlie. All right, the one on the right, Charlie, $39.99.
Oh,
That's a
God.
good profit, Charlie. The one on the left, $799.
Where's Judy? I got to tell Judy.
Yeah, that's
Judy.
Pyrex, Charlie. If you got old Pyrex in the house,
Yeah.
you better get
God.
that out before.
Yeah, Charlie, sell it before she gets home.
But those kind of
I
treasures are
got
what
to
makes
show
it
her.
fun.
Look at on the left. She's
Here's
looking at it
here's
now
what
on the screen.
what I love
We got
doing.
those for a wedding gift.
Yeah,
when
we got them for a
married.
wedding gift, Jason.
Listen,
Seriously.
you better go dig them out. Or you know what? Bring them over to Jocelyn, and you could have a NikNax channel, Charlie.
Yeah.
Judy just walked in. She saw them. We got them for wedding gifts.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
If you got more of it, you've got quite
Mine
a.
were blue. Those were like.
Ours are blue, Jason. I don't know what that means.
I think those Amish came in different colors, didn't they, Josh?
Yeah, the blue's the most common.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And then
that's
there's
the most,
all right.
pink and gold.
yeah, that one's. Do you have all four of them, Charlie? Like they're like. I
Judy,
think
all
they're
four
called.
of them? She's
I'd have
looking.
to look.
She'd have to look.
All right.
But-
I think
but
they're called
they're
nesting.
blue.
Are they nesting bowls, Jocelyn?
Mhm.
I think
Yeah, they're
called-
mixing bowls. They're Cinderella mixing bowls.
Oh, okay. Cinderella mixing bowls. Well, make sure you get them out, Charlie.
How much is this worth?
Let me see. Let me bring you up over there, Doug. Hold on. Jocelyn, what can you get for that on NikNax? It's a dog.
I think that's
tag,
priceless. I think that one's priceless.
You would crash your
Oh.
website again.
We'd crash it.
You'd crash the site again, Doug. I don't have.
Jocelyn says it's priceless. Jocelyn, just send me a blank check. Just sign it.
That's pretty good. So, Josh, do you have any other influencers that sell on the NikNax app? Other people that have notable YouTube channels that are also bringing people in?
Yeah, we have quite a few. We have, let me think about this. We've got Sunny Las Vegas. He is a thrifter out of Las Vegas.
Okay.
We have Sandy, My Flippin' Van Life.
My Flippin' Van Life.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool. That's a cool name. She
Yes.
sounds like she travels distances, Doug. That sounds cool.
Yes. She's always out doing that. We've got a lot of really amazing sellers who, with YouTube channels, Facebook pages, I should say, Instagram pages, and even sellers who are just now starting different social medias. Sorry, I thought I just heard someone with a weed whacker. It was kind of distracting. Is somebody weed whacking? It's really late.
No, it's a motorcycle.
I realized that after the fact. So we have a lot of sellers who see the potential in sharing to their social medias. And so they're just kind of getting started, and it's just been really cool to watch.
No,
we do have a lot of YouTubers and influencers, but a lot of people who just focus strictly on selling also, which is really cool because some of our top sellers don't even have social media.
No, I would imagine so. Lifelong, like I said, Lynn's got an incredible collection of, a lifetime's worth of those Pilgrim era antiques.
Yeah.
And Rich wanted to do a whatnot. Maybe he'll change his mind and go over to a TikTok. Rich is a blacksmith and he makes custom pieces. Do you have artisans that sell one of a kind type item?
We do, yeah. So every fourth Friday of the month, we have our handmade market. And so we turn the entire homepage over to all handmade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Rich. I'm telling you.
Can you do handmade at all times, or is it just on?
Oh yeah, you can do it all the time. Yeah, but that's like our one day that we really highlight all of our handmade sellers. Like, it was really important to me when I started it that we were putting some of the spotlight on our handmade sellers. So that's the day where our entire homepage, like, I switch it over to, like, right now, if you went to the homepage, it would be like all different like hard goods and stuff. But on the fourth Friday, it's all handmade, and we have sellers going live doing demonstrations of like their art and stuff like that. So fourth Friday is like our handmade market, but they can sell handmade all the time.
Check it out.
Yeah.
There you go, Rich. Sure. Rich, what do you think of this idea? We set up a NikNax, and maybe like every 2 weeks we auction off some of our detecting finds. What do you think of that, Rich?
The leash.
I think it's a good idea. It'd be hard to find things that I want to get rid of.
That's true. That's true. Where do you source your items from? Oh, we dig them out of the ground.
I think that would be really cool. I've thought about that too. It'd be really awesome to have some like detectorists on NikNax, like selling artifacts or relics or.
All right, let's get our lawyers together and work out a deal.
Hey, listen, in the chat too, there's a couple hundred detectorist channels in the chat. If anybody is considering that, put your applications into Jocelyn, and maybe you'll be one of the first ones. Are you the biggest platform on this? What was it called? The mother company of NikNax? District. Are you the biggest one on Districts?
Yeah. We're actually, so like all the other marketplaces live on District still, and we have kind of broken off of District, and now we have NikNax.net. Like, we are our own island.
Oh, I got you. So now you're a competitor to District.
No, they're like our infrastructure.
Oh, I see. Okay, they're the backbone.
They're the backbone, yeah.
Okay.
But we have NikNax.net, like. That is our island, and all the other marketplaces are still living on District, if that makes sense.
And do you have a team that helps you navigate that site, or is that all you, like approving these applications and all that?
I do have a team. Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't do it without a team.
Well, that's impressive. I don't even know how you find these people that she, has all these teams.
Yeah.
Imagine if I put Doug in charge of this, Lynn. What would happen?
What?
Don't put me in charge of anything.
There's your answer right there.
I'm
Have
retired.
you ever done? When we were metal detecting, we would often collaborate. You used to hunt with us sometimes, or Aquachigger. Do they have thrifting collaborations where you and your friend will go in, find your own things, sell them individually? And if so, is that like competitive, or are you supportive? Are you like, oh, you bought that thing? Do you do some of that? I know you used to go with a woman that would also be thrifting with you. And is
Yeah.
that challenging or is it more fun?
No, I think it's fun. Like, so whenever I go to these big antique shows, like I was just in Mount Dora, Florida. I think it was in February. I went down there, met up with a bunch of friends. We did Mount Dora, Reningers. We were there for, a week, and we all hung out. We all thrifted, or I should say, it wasn't really thrifting. It was antiquing, but we all did antiquing together and stuff. And then we got together and had dinner in the evenings. It was, drink wine, had a good time. And it's a lot of the same as metal detecting. It's just, we kind of do our own thing, and then we get together and we hang out, and it's a lot about the socializing as much as it is, the thrifting or the antiquing or any of that.
No, I think it's cool. And do you find being such a large, YouTuber or social media person that you'll get more for your item if it was in a video than if it wasn't in a video? Like, do you find that raises the stock on that item for you specifically?
Yeah, I think the more exposure it gets, it does tend to do better. I have found that since I've started NikNax, I've kind of created my own competition within NikNax, by bringing in other sellers and creating this marketplace. I've basically filled it with competition, but at the same time, I've built this amazing marketplace with all of these sellers. So my items don't really sell for what they used to, but at the same time, I think I've built something really positive, and it's continuing to grow. And I think I take a lot of joy in seeing other sellers succeed and do well in that. And I'm still, I don't know, but yeah. So my stuff does sell better when it's in videos, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I would think it would have to, like you said, for more exposure, for sure.
Yeah, but it used to sell for more before NikNax. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
It is.
But at the end of the day, when you're 90 years old looking back, I would much rather think, wow, I really helped create this amazing community.
Yeah.
And I could have made an extra $100.
And I think this is more like of a legacy. Like this is much more important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is awesome.
Now, have you been approached by other large, like Whatnot? Have you been approached by other sites to maybe emerge together?
Oh yeah, I worked with Whatnot for a while. Until I have to be careful what I say.
Okay.
I'm taking over the words to say. I worked with Whatnot for a while, until I was all used up, and I wasn't worth it anymore. And then there wasn't anything left, and they're like, okay, and we parted ways. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do my own thing now. And so then I started NikNax, and now I get emails from Whatnot wanting me to come back.
Really?
Yeah.
One day you might absorb them, and then hey, listen, yours is growing and really impressively, and it's fun. Rich, I was on some of them today. It's really exciting, especially to catch them live. I really like the live auction because that has that sense of community, and you're chatting it up. I think things would go for higher prices. You should check it out. Everybody out there, I'll bring it up again in case you didn't see it. It's NikNax, niknax.net. And it's got a little bit of something for everybody. And I personally like the live stuff, but who knows? You might like a static listing off to the side. But, give it a shot and check it out. I really enjoyed it. Juliet, do you make appearances on your mom's NikNack auctions?
Sometimes. There's a beanbag over there.
Oh, you're chilling on the beanbag?
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Sometimes I'll come over and say hi.
Where's Ashton today? He couldn't make it?
He's playing video games.
Oh, he's playing video games? All right. Well, you tell him I said hello. I had a picture of him up earlier. I don't know if you were in. I was going over how we met with the school and all that. And I had some pictures of me and Ashton finding some treasure back in the day.
I love that.
and I had one of we're sharing a banana. You know, you should bury that banana. And me
You
and
remember the
Ashton
bananas?
out in the fields, finding some. There was another one I had, Doug. It was really funny. Doug, you were there. We were hunting, and Ashton and Juliet were there, and it started pouring rain. And it was raining so hard, and Jocelyn had just got her hair done, so she had like a bit of a Rudy Giuliani, where like some of the dye was running down her face.
Like purple.
Yeah, it was like purple running down her face. And Juliet had these like butterfly wings on, and she was like running around the field. Like,
I remember that. That was
so
good.
funny. It was so funny.
That was so good.
So you got to check him out, Juliet, because and it was pouring rain, but you were still running all around having a good time. Your wings were covered in mud. But that's what it's all about. What time is? I'm going to try to have Jocelyn out in the next 15 minutes at the latest. So any questions, please put them in the chat before we go. It might be your only opportunity to ask a question. And I'm going to play another quick game. It's not as picture oriented, Joss.
All right.
Let me bring it up.
No.
So here's the scenario. You're out of town, and you walk into a brand new thrift store. It's massive and it's all categorized, but the caveat is they close in 15 minutes, and you're flying home the next day.
Okay.
So I'm going to list categories that they could be in there, and you're going to tell me either that you would look into that category and walk over, or just skip it for time reasons.
Okay.
And I'm going to call it flip it or skip it. What do you think of that, lady?
That's great.
That's what I came up with. So you're just going to tell me I'm going to go investigate in my 15 minutes, or I'm going to look for a better section.
Okay.
And I'm going to fly through them. Split decisions. Are you ready?
Okay.
Action figures and dolls.
Flip. I mean, yeah, skip.
Skip.
Skip it. Yeah.
Pyrex.
Skip.
Skip. Oh, vinyl records.
Skip.
Jewelry.
I'll go there.
Wicker baskets.
Okay, go up on
Skip.
the chair.
Silverware.
No.
Skip.
On the chair.
Sports equipment.
Skip.
Go on your bed. Okay?
Mugs and drinking glasses.
I'll go there.
Handbags and purses.
Skip.
Vintage t-shirts.
Skip.
Plates and bowls.
I'll go there.
Cameras and electronics.
Skip.
Board games.
Skip.
DVDs and VHSs.
Skip.
Plates and dishes.
I'll go there.
Ceramic figures.
Yes.
Artwork and frames.
Yes.
Books.
No.
Pots and pans.
No.
Lamps.
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So based on that, I got an idea of what it is you're looking for. You're looking for smalls, ceramic-y, plates, bowls, figurines, just like in your videos. That's what drives you. That's what drives you.
Yeah.
Do you ever even peruse, like, most thrift stops have aisles and aisles of clothing. Do you ever go peruse and looking for like good labels? Or
I don't look at clothing.
Never. What about for yourself?
For myself, occasionally I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'd be like, oh, look at that rockin' Ramones t-shirt. I got to get one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes this is what I was talking about earlier. Well, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I could do clothing. And then I get over there and I'm like looking at it. And then I'm like, oh, I could sell this for money. And then I end up like, here, look, I'll show you.
Your daughter's cute. Oh, that's vintage looking.
Oh, what does it say? Is that words?
This is Hall & Oates.
Oh, it's Hall & Oates.
I've had this since October of last year.
Do you wear that?
No, I bought it to resell it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't.
Doug, you're a Hall & Oates fan. Doug, would you put a bid in on that?
Is it my size?
Is it a XXX?
It's a large.
Oh, it's a large? No.
I couldn't squeeze in there.
No, he couldn't get in there. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, oh, I could do this. I'm excited about this. I'll do clothing. And then I buy it. And I'm like, ooh.
It sits and sits and sits.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I'm not excited.
Darryl Hall is local. He's a local guy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went
I
to
think he
Owen J.
does live
Roberts
somewhere out
School.
your way, Jocelyn. I think he
Oh,
does.
interesting.
Yeah, maybe you can get him to sign it.
Yeah, maybe, and then I could sell it.
Yeah.
And I could be
Yeah.
excited about it because it's probably
So Jocelyn, does companies like Lennox that used to sell all kinds of and have stores everywhere, they don't seem to be as in demand as they used to be. Now, do you find their products to sell quickly or no?
Lennox is tough. You know, for everything that I see, I usually have like a general rule of like, okay, this is the average it sells for. And if I don't know that particular item in my head, I'm like, okay, well, the average piece will sell for this much. And then I just decide whether or not to leave it. So like if I find a Lennox bud vase, I know in my head the average Lennox bud vase sells between like $8 and $12. And usually at a thrift store, it's priced anywhere from like maybe like $4 to $8, depending on the Goodwill. And so it's usually not worth picking up.
Mhm.
And then you have to look if it's made in the USA or if it's made overseas, because the vintage ones are made in the USA.
Right.
And then like how ornate it is, you know, the more average ones are like, so I mean, if it's more ornate, maybe it's worth picking up. So like, again, it's just, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but on average, Lennox just isn't a great seller.
It's not hot anymore.
Yeah.
Now, is it, you know, it sounds like you're kind of looking at it and going with your gut and just based on like what you would like.
Yeah.
But do you ever like take a picture and do like a Google reverse image search and try to look and see exactly what that item sold for?
Yeah, usually if I don't know what it is, like if I'm not familiar with it, I mean, the best way to know is to look it up and then I remember it the next time I see it. I mean, the one thing that's important in this is to constantly be learning. And so if I don't know what it is, of course, I'm going to look it up and I'm going to Google image search it. I'm going to figure out what it is. So the next time I see it, I recognize it, you know, and then I'm constantly building that knowledge.
Now, that's how it is with me. Doug, when I used to have that bookstore years ago, I used to have an online bookstore. And I would study like 2 or 3 authors every day. Yeah. And after like 5 years, like I might have had 3,000 authors memorized and I could tell you which books were good, which ones weren't.
Yeah.
And that's what she basically does, a little bit at a time. And over years, she could probably just go up to any shelf and just kind of eyeball her way down and know what could be good and what's not. And you just got to take a closer look.
Yeah.
Doug, we're gonna do something like that. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let me get a couple more quick ones, Joss, and then I'll cut you loose. I don't want to keep you all night.
Oh, it's all right. I don't have any plans.
Oh, okay. Well, is it a school night?
She's homeschooled.
Oh, okay. Is there any common household items that people might have, like Charlie's Pyrex, that could be worth a lot of money that they just wouldn't think of? Are there common things that you could say, hey, a lot of households might have this, you should take a look at it?
Oh my gosh. Off the top of my head, I don't really know. I'd have to walk through your house and I'd be like, oh, did you know that? Did you know this? Did you know? You know, it's funny though, because I say that, but like sometimes I'll be at Airbnbs and that's like so fun. I stayed at this Airbnb up in New York, like in Syracuse area when we went to Madison Dockville, and Mackenzie Childs. I don't know if you know Mackenzie Childs. It's like a pottery.
Not sure.
She's from up in that area. And I stayed at this Airbnb and they had Mackenzie Childs everywhere in this house. And I don't think that they realized how much it's worth because it was just like everywhere in the house. And I'm like anyone could just like pick it up and like walk out with it. And I'm like, I don't think they know what this is worth. So it's just, it's funny like going to Airbnbs and seeing the things that I'm like, ooh, like, do they know?
Did you try messaging in the Airbnb owner and being like, hey, I'm staying here. Would you be interested in selling these things?
Yeah, hey, do you want to sell this stuff? Like, what's the deal? Is it for sale?
They might have just staged it that way. Or maybe they are a collector. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, a good rule of thumb, Doug, especially for Doug, who I know isn't really like a person who resales, is if you went through your house, Doug, and looked up things, especially things you may have had for 20, 30 years, I would look them up. You might be sitting on a miniature little gold mine of items. And if everyone did that, it's really easy to get the bug like Jocelyn has. It's so fun. It's so easy. And it's so exciting. And who knows? You might have a Dog Tag Doug NikNax page next year, Doug.
I doubt it.
Listen.
one of the fun things you were talking about, Lennox. You know, one of the fun things that I've noticed recently is the Lennox Spice Village. I don't know if you know what that is.
I have one downstairs.
Do you really?
It's
You know,
got
that's
5
worth
shelves and their little houses.
They're over that's worth over $1,000.
Really?
Yeah. So there
When
you
I
go.
looked
Something in
last
your house
time-
that's worth a lot of money. Yeah, that's worth over $1,000 with the.
I have every single one.
And the little spice, yeah, over $1,000 right now.
When I picked it up, it was worth like $250, and that was probably 10, 15 years ago. It must have really went up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I even have the shelf that it came with.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This recently, I know they were selling for about $1,000. I don't know if the price went down. Let me look up. Lennox Spice.
I love it too. I wouldn't sell it. I think it's super cool.
They're so cute.
I think it's really cool. I don't know. Do you have anyone selling old pilgrimy antiques like my friend Lindiana Jones up there?
Like primitives?
Yes, primitive. That's what she calls it, primitive.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. That was.
We do have some sellers that sell primitives.
Yeah.
I would love for more sellers to get into the primitives. That's one category that hasn't really been explored a whole lot. We had a few.
What is the oldest thing that you found, like in a Goodwill or something? Has there been anything that's really been early?
I have. I do a lot with
downstairs.
I have a lot of older Asian antiques. I mean, I think if I was to say something very old, it would probably be Asian.
Yeah, that's one area I don't know, but I actually do Madison Bachville. So.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. On the
do you set up there, or do you just go there to shop? You do. Okay.
I'm on the East Expo field.
Okay.
Where the
I
chicken
go there.
barbecue is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is that, Lynn?
It's in New York in August.
Oh,
Like
okay.
a week-long show outdoors.
Yeah, Lynn was. I'll show you. Lynn goes to antique shows and sets up every week, or not every week, but a lot of weeks.
Teapots up there.
And we advertise it on the live show. And people, if they show up, they take a picture with Lynn and they come on the show. And from her show this past weekend up in Connecticut, like these are people that stopped by her booth because we talked about it and they check it out. The last one here you're going to recognize. You recognize that person that stopped by?
I do recognize that person.
So and the Lynn's all over the place, all over from Ohio to New England.
The Springfield in Ohio.
I don't do that one. I do Simple Goods in Ohio. That's twice a year in Berlin, and then I do the Hudson Antique Show.
Okay.
So, but I know of Springfield, and I know of the big co-op there, Heart of Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if Jocelyn ever gets her the antique co-op that you were talking about up, I don't know if that's still in your wheelhouse. You're trying
someday. Well, we're actually now our talks are about I'm going to do an antique show here in Carlisle.
Oh, really?
2026. Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Lynn, you might be the only primitives person there. It might be worth it. Lynn's stuff is so cool because it's one of a kind and stuff that you're not going to find another one, and that's what I kind of like about it. It's so
that's why
unique.
it's so hard to find.
Yeah, and it's got to be hard to price because you don't have a lot of comparisons.
Yeah, that too. You kind of go by what you pay, or if I really, really like it, then I keep it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get that. Especially since you may never find another one.
Right.
There's someone in the chat, and I can't find it now. It's our buddy Doug from Missouri, Chris, that makes the glass marbles and glass paperweights, and they're so beautiful. Another candidate, like I said, Jocelyn advertises those not homemade. What do you call them? The artistic things?
Yeah, handmade.
Handmade. Yes. I thought there was a fancier term.
Downstairs.
But that's a perfect avenue. And if you can bust things out with a skill like he's got, they're beautiful works of art.
No.
That would be a great place. And she's pulling in tons of people, 40-some thousand active viewers on that site, right?
Yeah.
That's really impressive. Chris, yeah, go check that out, Chris. There might be a quarter hoarder page on there soon, too. I don't know what we're going to sell. Maybe body parts of Doug's body parts.
Yeah, I've got an extra kidney if
Follow the
anybody's
guidelines.
interested.
Yeah, what would you part with?
Let me see here. How about on your site? Do you have like, and this might be a good idea. I saw like off to the left where there was different categories. Any resources for people to learn about maybe specific categories of collectibles or things like that? Do you offer any resources to people to kind of help grow this for people like Doug who never really thought about thrifting, but I know his personality. He would love it with a little nudging, a little information.
Yeah, so we on the left side column, we do have like chat channels where like you can chat with the community about stuff. You can ask questions and get feedback. And so that's one of the ways that you can, learn.
Let me see if I can bring it back up again. I'll put it off to the, whoops. Let me put it up right over here so they can see it. So over here, she's saying on this left-hand side.
Yeah, so where you see NikNax information, like right underneath it, that's where you would find the chat channels.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, I think you would enjoy it. I'm going to show one other thing here too. This is
I would like to get into that. It's
I think you
nice,
like it, Doug.
easy-paced hobby. Yeah.
Well, what's cool is you got like an extra half an hour. You can go into a thrift store, look for those couple of things that interest you, and then if you find something, you sell it on a marketplace like NikNax. It's so exciting, Doug, to watch your thing going off, the auction. While it's auctioning off, you're chatting, and there's that sense of community. It's so addicting. We had Brad Johns on here, Jocelyn, who's got a huge one on Whatnot. Maybe we'll try to
get him over.
We'll help try to convert him over.
Yeah, try. Everybody needs to help me. Come on,
Yeah,
Brad.
everyone out here, if you know Brad, tell him.
Jocelyn, do you have a relationship with a bunch of thrift stores? You tell them, hey, keep your eye out for such and such and give me a call if it comes in?
No, not really.
Holy cow.
Well, look at that, Doug. Maybe she's still, listen, you're giving good advice, Doug. I like how you berate her too.
I just kind of go with the flow. I just like, when I wake up in the morning, I don't even know what I'm doing that day. It's like, where am I going today?
Good planning, yes.
Like I said, it drives everybody around me nuts. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going.
Figure it out over a cup of coffee, right?
As I go.
Yeah. So when you get back from like a day of thrifting, you have a team. No. You just go up to them with your box of stuff and be like, here you go, Peggy.
Yeah.
And then she just has to look through and figure it out. Or do you sit down with her and say, all right, Peggy, this is a rare Nightmare Before Christmas mug. I want to, like, does she know or that team know? Or do you have to?
So the way it works is like over the course of a week, I go out and I film, and it usually like sits in the back of my car. And then like one day that week, I'll go out and I'll just unload it, which it's not really, it sounds like a lot. It's not really, because I'm down to doing 3 days a week, film like 3 days a week of putting out videos. So before, when I was doing daily videos, and I did daily videos for like 7 years, that was a lot. Now I'm doing three videos a week, which is like, so once a week I'll unload my car, I'll bring it in. We have a room over here that's for processing with a sink. So I bring all this stuff in. Shelby processes it. So she takes it out of the bag, she unwraps it, takes all the stickers off, washes it if it needs washed. And then it goes on a shelf back there. And then I'll take it off the shelf and I use Post-it. Like, this isn't with my desk. I have Post-its are a real thing around here. So I'll write Post-its of what the item is, how much I want to ask for it, whether it's going to go live sale or buy it now. And then I just put Post-its on all of the items. And then they list them. And that's what we do.
So Shelby is your number one helper that does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff?
Well, Shelby processes it, and then Sage and Shelby both list it.
Okay.
And then Sage does the shipping.
Okay. They come in every day and do this? I mean, I don't know.
They come in Monday through Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess when you were doing the daily videos, you were out, thrifting a lot more, but now you're doing your own live thing. How long do you go live for? Like, what's a typical live session for you on the platform?
Yeah, so it just kind of depends on the week. I was going live every Wednesday, and then another time during the week. But now I'm kind of doing just the weekends. So I've been doing Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
But it's just, I don't know, I'm just kind of playing with the schedule. But the past few weeks I've been doing just weekends. But like tonight I went live before this. I was doing a show before this. So I don't know. The beauty of it is I could pop up whenever I want and sell some stuff. And
Well, I think it's pretty cool. We're going to check it
Yeah.
out. I'm going to show one other thing. Go ahead, Doug, I'm going to show the one clip real fast before we get too long. This has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about.
okay.
Real quick though, did Shelby wear that banana box shirt for Jason's benefit?
That's not Shelby. That's Juliet.
Juliet, I'm sorry.
This is when we do open our antique shop, this is what we're calling it, Banana Box Antiques. This is my merch.
Was that at all? Was that at all anything to do with my banana fetish that I used to have?
Well, the reason we called it Banana Box Antiques is because when you buy antiques, like half the time you get them in banana boxes.
Oh,
like
okay.
That's true.
So that's going to be the name of it, the Banana Box Antique Store.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you already have shirts made. Is that
Yeah.
an RCA Victrola
We started these
on the
shirts in
front?
2020 when we thought we were going to be opening an antique mall before COVID hit.
Yeah. Is that a Victrola? Is that a Victrola phonograph on the shirt?
Yeah. Well, what's really cool is there's actually like they hid a little thing in here. It actually on the boxes, like where it has the little label right here, it actually says Relic Recoverist.
Oh, you still use that?
Yeah, well, it says Crazy Lamp Lady. It's the Crazy Lamp Lady merch, but then the little itty bitty logo on the banana boxes says Relic Recoverist. And I didn't know if anyone knew that was a little Easter egg on those.
I didn't know. Well, now they know.
Now they know.
Somebody posted, I missed who it was a minute ago, asking about your Relic Recoverist theme song. You had a special theme song that I don't know if someone wrote that for you. I don't even remember how it went. I apologize.
I dug it up, right?
It's been a long time.
I dug it up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
My baby.
It was like who did that for you? Do you even remember?
Whithill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she has an entire album dedicated to metal detecting.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's cool.
Her name is Whithill.
Whithill. Well, check it out. Yeah, if you're not familiar,
is she on YouTube?
Well, she was. Let me find. If you haven't seen her YouTube channel, let me bring it up again. Her old YouTube channel, the Relic Recoverist one, and most of them have that theme song. Maybe not the earliest ones. I don't know.
Well, the earlier ones are the ones with the Whithill song.
Oh, the earlier ones were. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, make sure to check that out. Doug, I think you're even in one or two Relic Recoverist videos, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
One or two. Her poorest performing ones.
Yeah.
Just sort by lowest views.
Sort by lowest views. Josh, I have a little clip I'm going to play. This actually has audio in it too. Doug, you're going to remember this. I'm going to play the clip and then I'll see if Jocelyn remembers it. Are you ready? It's only about 40 seconds or so.
9:30 on the clock sometimes.
Oh my God, this one. So good.
I'm going to go this way. Good buddies. Right, me and you. Good buddies.
We're buddies.
Oh, Jesus. I was attacked, Doug. I was attacked by this rooster. Or whatever the heck it is, a chicken or whatnot.
That was the best ever.
And I was filming it just trying to show a cute little farm animal. And thank God, because he flew talons at my face and he hit my phone.
Right after you said we're buddies, aren't we?
We're buddies, aren't we? And it's like
because he snuck up on me and I was like, uh-oh. But you were at that house with us. I don't know if it was that day or not. Juliet, you were at that house too. You were at that house.
Was there. She remembers. That's why as soon as you showed it, she started laughing. She was like, "Oh, I know this one."
Yeah, that son of a gun. Now, I don't know how chickens live, but he might be long gone now. So if he is, I forgive you. But next time, don't be so rude. I thought that was good. I'm sorry, Doug. Did I cut you off before I played the clip?
No.
Oh, I thought I cut you off.
Yeah.
Again, anybody questions in here? I see Barred Rooster. Crazy Diggin' remembers a paranormal one you did. You had some really cool ventures. You went overseas a couple times. Where did you go overseas when you're detecting? I remember at least Italy and maybe the UK.
I did England a few times. I did the Netherlands, Italy, I think, and Canada, which isn't really overseas. But I went to Canada.
Yeah, it's close enough. Do you still stay in contact with anyone in the metal detecting? I know you're super swamped, and like you said, every day she's doing something, so it's got to be hard. But do you still kind of stay in contact with anybody? All these years later, that you still talk to, even let's say once every week or two.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the friends that I made in metal detecting, I mean, we could just pick up where we left off. But I mean, it's not like a weekly conversation or anything like that. But it's like, if anyone was to reach out to me, I'd be like, hey, you know, I feel like if I was to go to any metal detecting event, it would just be the same. Like,
it would be for sure.
Yeah. Like I mean, we're picking up where we left off, right?
Yeah. I mean, I texted her. I mean, when I texted you to come on the show like a month ago, I didn't even know if it was the same number anymore. You know, like I haven't texted her in like 5 or 6 years. And I'm like, well, here goes.
I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Now, if I left detecting and do something else, I would dump Doug like a wet rag. never speak to him again.
Probably.
No, I'm only kidding. I love Doug.
Yeah.
Let me see. There was a question here. Jocelyn wasn't sure what she heard on her record. I don't know what this is. Crazy Diggin was saying, I guess when you went to like a haunted something or other, you maybe picked up like ghost noises, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, there was a weird one where I was like metal detecting across the street from this house, and there was like a weird audio that I picked up. That was a weird one.
Alan Cleveland, another one. The Rooster, Doug. Yeah, the original Puffy Heart. In a video we had 2 weeks ago, Rich found this sterling silver heart. It was beautiful, hand etched. And in the video, as I was recording, I said, "Oh, it's a Puffy Heart." And when I said that, I remembered instantly the only other time I heard Puffy Heart was when I was detecting at you at the house when we got attacked by the bees.
Yeah.
And Alan Cleveland, who was a longtime viewer, must have remembered. And when he knew you were coming on, he said you were the original Puffy Heart.
The Puffy Heart. Yeah.
And Rich's was a beautiful Puffy Heart. And that
as it turns out, they weren't killer bees. I
know. We were so scared. We're like, they were just like ground bees.
I had to go buy like 60 cases of wasp and hornet spray, and turns out we didn't need it at all. They were after cicadas.
They weren't even ground bees. They were
cicada killers.
But they were like the size of like tennis balls.
And terrifying.
They were very ominous looking for sure.
I was scared to death. Yeah, I was scared to death. So
and they always leave you alone. Although they're terrifying, they still want nothing to do with us.
Yep.
Yeah, I was more scared than anything else. So but
and it was interesting when we were invited, Jocelyn invited us. I said, boy, that house seems familiar, that address. Turns out it was my wife's business partner's old house. So
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was very weird.
That small world for sure. So no, a lot of questions coming in. Does she still detect it all? She doesn't have a lot of time, but we're trying to convince her maybe to join us again one more time. Maybe this year. We're going to try to put some pressure on.
I'm going to hit you guys up and be like, we're going to
put some pressure on. I'm just going to go through some random ones. People asking about cast iron novelty items. I guess they mean on the NikNax. There's probably so many things. You don't know what you're going to find. That's the beauty of the live auction. If I were to click on an upcoming live auction, can I see a list of the items that will be showing? Or is it, as from the viewer point of view, is it totally random?
No, you can see. So if that particular seller has items preloaded, like if they have their items preloaded, you can see what they're going to sell. But a lot of the times they will, they'll just run them random. Like they won't have anything preloaded. They'll just be like, okay, up next, I'm going to sell this. Sorry, my camera's over here. I'm going to sell this blue elephant, and then they're going to add it and sell it right then and there. So you actually don't know. So it just depends on the sale.
Okay. But the search bar on the NikNax, there was a search bar up there. If they did the preloading and I searched it,
And it would show up. Yeah.
then I would find it and I would know that live auction's coming up.
Yes.
I would think that's a better scenario, especially for your higher dollar items. So people might know, oh, I got to tune in, this Friday at 3:00 so I can win that blue elephant.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree. There was another one here. Jay Cook. You remember Jay Cook, Jocelyn?
I sure do.
Wants to know if you ever detected in the rain.
Of course I've detected in the rain.
I saw her in the snow, in the rain, pretty much everywhere. Let me see. Any other questions for Jocelyn? She's been on almost 2 hours, and she was live on her own channel before she came on. I wanted to leave with a little bit of a voice left. Rich, Charlie, Doug, Lynn, I'll give you guys a chance too. Any last questions for Jocelyn before we let her go back to her living her life?
I have a question. Is there what's one or two things that you're always looking for, that when you go to a thrift store or Goodwill anywhere, are there a couple things you can name that just always sell no matter what?
I mean, there's nothing like in particular. I mean, when I go in, the first thing I always look at is figurines, because usually I can find something in the figurines. I mean, regardless of what that is, it's usually like there's something in the figurines. Coffee mugs, there's usually something in the coffee mugs.
Oh, coffee mugs. I wouldn't have thought coffee mugs.
Yeah. I mean, I have quite a few. I don't have any right here. But like Polish pottery coffee mugs, studio pottery coffee mugs. I just picked one up today. It's by an artist, Bill Campbell. I was just browsing through. I saw it, pulled it, recognized it. I mean, that mug right there is worth $24 to $28, and I paid $3 for it. So, I mean, that was exciting. And then vases. I'll always go through the vases and the glass, because usually there's something in there I'll recognize.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the sections I always hit, because those are the ones I know. And I don't even have to think about it. I'll just see it. And I'm like, oh, I know what that is. And then the other stuff I go through and I'm like, okay, I had to think a little bit more about it.
Yeah. And it sounds like you like the smalls too, for probably practical reasons. Easy to bring home, easy to ship.
Yeah.
Rather than the lamps that are, that's got to be a difficult process.
Yeah, a lot of people ask why I'm called the crazy lamp lady if I don't buy lamps. But I don't think they realize that, when I started this, it wasn't as expensive to ship a lamp as it is now. I mean, the cost to ship a lamp was maybe like $30 from here to California. And now you try to ship a lamp of that same size from here to California, it's over $100. So it has to be like a really special lamp for anyone to want to pay that shipping. So it's become a lot harder. So I don't really buy and sell very many lamps unless they're special, like maybe that guy, but like it has to be like a really special, a special lamp. So I don't really buy and sell many lamps or anything large.
What's that called? Chicken in the basket that we have.
Yeah. Oh, that's Charlie talking to his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying to Judy, we have a collection of chicken in the basket stuff. And,
the hen on nest.
Do you sell that stuff?
Are you talking about the hen on the nest, like the glass hen?
Yes. We have a collection.
Yes. Yeah, I have bought and sold a few of those. I actually have one. I was selling it. It was years ago before NikNax, but I was selling it on eBay. Are you making faces?
I'm going like this.
Stop.
Making faces at me. Who's that ugly guy, right?
I had two that were imperial glass, and I had somebody reach out to me who was writing a book and asked if they could feature my photos in their book.
Right.
So one was the lion. And I forget, but it was the same concept. It was like, I think one was a hen on nest and then the other was a lion.
Yeah, we have a collection of that, and she also has a lot of lusterware that was given to her from her mom. A lot of it. Is that something that you also deal with, lusterware?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the Japanese lusterware.
Actually, England, Judy, is it from England? The lusterware you have? No. Yeah, it's her mom had it from years ago. Okay. I think it's American made lusterware, like little teapots, and cups and whatever. Yeah.
Charlie, somebody, John Tennyson said there's a cobalt blue hen and nest on NikNax right now.
There you go.
So you can go search for it. I don't know
Add it
who's
to your collection.
I don't know who's selling it, but I'm sure you always have them. And somebody asked about cookie jars. I don't even know who asked about it. I'd imagine there's cookie jars out the wazoo too. They're pretty collectible and so many different designs and everything. Anything you can imagine.
Well,
There's 40,000 people selling things on there.
There's 100,000 listings. That's a lot.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Jocelyn, why don't you just take a trip down to Charlie's house and do a live show and sell half of what he's got in there?
Okay.
We have a lot of hand-me-downs, and my wife used to collect the what do you call it? Hammered aluminum. That was
Okay.
very big
I
thing
find
that-
hammered aluminum all the time.
Yeah. That's all Doug digs is aluminum. That's all.
So do you have a marker for that on your
The hammered aluminum.
yeah, hammered aluminum? Is that the marker?
Yeah, I mean some of it.
Okay.
What
I mean,
the heck
it
does that
depends-
even
it depends
mean?
on what it
Hammered
is.
aluminum? Yeah. What does that mean? Hammered aluminum, Doug? Like, is things made out of aluminum that's got?
Obviously.
Yeah, it started in the late 40s and early 50s, and it was popular as wedding gifts back then.
Oh, okay. No, so many things. 5 Mile Rail kind of asking about milk glass. Years ago, I used to collect those Anchor Hocking little coffee mugs that had like advertising. I thought that was cool. I don't even know where they are. My wife probably donated them. Jocelyn probably bought them years ago. But all sorts of things. Well, listen, I want to get ready to let Jocelyn go. Juliet, thank you for hanging out with us all night. I'll let everyone say their last goodbyes to Jocelyn. Go down the road. Charlie, Doug, Lynn, Rich, or anything last you want to say before we cut her loose. She's incredibly busy, and I appreciate you donating so much of your time to us, Jocelyn.
Oh, absolutely. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all quiet, I guess. Not.
Well,
Oh.
it was very nice to meet you,
Yes.
and hopefully we
fun.
can, we can dig together someday. And I'd like to talk more about thrifting too. So,
Yeah, Rich, who's got the coolest knack because he makes things. I think that's a great candidate for a NikNax because you don't have to go out and source it. It's just a matter of how fast can I make it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Lynn, whose collections are so unique, that could be another candidate. I know Lynn sells right now on like some Facebook page, which works really well for her and the shows. But that might be something you might want to look into too, Lynn. It might be something really lucrative.
It could be fun. Yeah.
And you reach the whole world instead of just the people that came to that show.
Yeah.
Although I know half of it is also the fun of meeting people. So
Right.
Yeah. I don't find enough, I don't think, to put it worldwide.
hey, you never know, but maybe you'll buy stuff on there too. There could be things up there. They do have primitive stuff that comes up, and you never know.
Right. That could be true to buy something. But maybe I'll see you in New York next summer.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'll look for you by the barbecue.
Same road the barbecue's in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll look for you.
All right, we'll let her out of here. Jocelyn, again, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Sissy, thank you, and maybe I'll see you soon. We'll get out there and swing some machines. I'm going to wear the angel wings next time.
Yes, I think so. We'll bring him a pair, huh? What do you think?
And tell your brother I said hello. And Laura. I don't want to forget Laurel, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever said any words to Laurel. So nothing there.
All right.
But Jocelyn, thank you very much for
Yes,
joining
thank
us.
you for having me on. This
You
was a
guys
lot
have
of
an
fun.
awesome night.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Jocelyn.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
Look at that, Charlie. Oh, it's nice catching up again. She was such a staple in the detecting community. And like I said, when I first met her to go do that school assembly, I went with the nickel nibbler. I didn't even know Doug at that point.
Oh.
The nickel nibbler went out there.
Wow.
It was such a good experience. And I've since done more of them. So it was really nice of her, to bring me over there. And I can't thank her enough for her time. Whew. A lot of talking today, Rich. I'm going to try to wind this up.
A lot of talking, Jason.
I know, I always do. But I had a lot of talking before the show today, too. So it was a long day of talking. We're going to get ready to wrap this up. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Again, if I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. I haven't figured out a good way to notice the questions unless I'm staring at the chat the whole time and then I'm not listening to the guest. So I got to try to figure that out. If there were questions posed and I missed them, I do apologize. But I'll go around the room for last thoughts of the day before the big come out swinging event this weekend. It should be fun. We're all going to be together, even if it's going to be inclement weather. But Rich, I'll start with you and go counterclockwise this week. Final thoughts of the day, my friend.
Well, it was a fun show, and as always, I want to thank all the fans for showing up and hanging out. And we talked about it before, and you mentioned it earlier, but I really do have to start selling some stuff again because I have a lot of stuff already, and I enjoy thrifting and antiquing and all of it. So
yeah, I think the stuff you make is just really cool and unique, and if you can share it with the world more, I think it would be a win-win for you and the receiving party.
Yep, I agree.
But I know it's just difficult to make the time to make this stuff. So, go ahead, Lynn. I'll give you your final thoughts of the night.
It was a fun show. It gives everybody something to think about for sure, because really anybody can, go out and find stuff. It's the selling it that maybe gets a little more difficult. But that was, really interesting, and looking forward to this weekend, hanging out with everybody. So, and thanks again for promoting the show, the antique show.
I'm glad it was successful. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this Saturday at the Come Out Swingin', will this be your first metal detecting event, Lynn?
It will.
Oh, her very first one.
Yep.
So that'll be exciting, Lynn. It's a shame it might rain. I'm hoping the weather makes a change for the better, but we'll see how it goes.
It's got 2 days to change.
Well, let's hope it just shifts forward or, north or south, whatever.
Right.
Dougie, final thoughts on the night, my friend.
I think I'm going to get into this thrifting thing. It fits my senior citizen motif.
I think you'd like it, Doug, because you're a treasure hunter at heart, and there's not a big downside. You can buy these things for $4 or $5, and even if you sold it for $10, $15, it's really exciting. It's a fun.
Even if I didn't sell it, it's a bargain. If I want it, I buy it.
Well, you have to have the mentality that you're buying it to sell it, because you don't want to.
Well, I'm mental.
I know you are. You're definitely the king of.
You'll become a hoarder if you don't sell.
Yeah.
Oh God. Dog tag.
Hoarder.
I think we're going to try to set something up like that, Doug, where we're all going to go out to like a thrift store, and we'll all have like $10, $20 to spend, and see who can turn that into the most money based on our own individual knowledge of the stuff we're looking at.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
Are you supplying the money?
No. I'll drive you there, though. I'll drive you there. Charlie, last thoughts on the night, my friend.
Can I have my wife with me when we do this game that you're doing?
Yes, you can go. The more, the merrier.
Judy's very good at thrift stores.
Oh, is she good?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not good. I just like to go to
Oh,
them.
she likes to go to them.
Get in shot, Judy. We want to see you. Where are you?
I don't know if Judy wants you to make an appearance or not, but let's see.
He's here somewhere.
How you feeling, Judy?
There's Judy. Hi,
There's
Judy.
Here I
Judy
am.
also is an artisan where she makes these things out of like seashells and stuff. I've seen a lot
Oh,
of them.
Judy, yeah.
You
Yeah.
could sell some of your homemade art, Judy, and have your
That's
little
true.
knickknacks.
Yeah, I'll become
Well-
famous.
Well,
That's right,
if people come to our supper or church, the centerpieces are all made by her.
Oh, look at that.
All the
Wow.
centerpieces.
Are they for sale or only to be looked at?
Well, they are for if people want to buy them. She'll sell them, and she says she'd donate everything to the church, everything back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would truly be a she sells seashells by the dinner table.
On the seashore.
Whatever it might be.
Well, anyway, we are all anxious for this weekend. Big event in my hometown. I grew up in Boyertown. I know the area very well. I have good feelings here about this site that is going to be detected by Come Out Swinging. Very historical area, colonial. So I'm hoping for the best for everybody.
I'm excited about it. And Teresa came all the way out from Arizona just for this hunt. And look, there's one of Judy's treasures. a seashell wreath.
Aw.
Wow.
And a lot of the seashells are also hand collected by Judy. It's not like she's
Yeah.
buying them in bulk.
At least
Yeah.
60% of them.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah.
I buy. Like this one here I bought.
Don't tell people you buy them, Judy. Keep it, make it seem like you.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But it's made with love from start to finish, Dougie. Treasures by Judy. You got to come up with a
Yeah.
store name.
There you go. Treasure by Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I forgot
Teresa, I'll give you the last thoughts of the day since we didn't get to hear from you
Teresa.
much. And you'll
Yeah.
close the show out.
Okay, well, I'm super excited about come out swinging, and can't wait to see y'all. Cannot wait to meet you in person, Lynn.
Oh, you
And,
too.
I'm just already having fun with Charlie and Judy. They're so precious, and
We had our
everybody-
wine.
we already had a little wine.
We might have a little more wine.
Okay. Well, tomorrow's an off day.
But thank you for letting me just pop in for a second. And I just
Oh, you're always welcome.
really
Teresa,
love
always
your show.
moderating. It's nice to see you on the screen. And next event, maybe Alicia will come out and stay at one of our houses, and we'll get her out there too. But I appreciate you helping out as
That's fine.
always during the show.
Yeah, thank you. Today I kind of gave up.
Oh, here comes my wife. My wife
I
is.
was busy.
We're closing out the show. Would you like to make a cameo?
No, thank you.
My wife does not want to. Judy's making a cameo.
Ah,
Yeah.
There's my wife. Hold on, I'll put you a big screen. You never got one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There's my lovely
Oh.
wife who
Hi.
Hi, Chrissy.
how you doing,
Hi.
Judy?
And there's Judy. We were showing some of Judy's artwork, trying to get her to sell on Jocelyn's site. Judy makes the shell art.
I know. I wanted that one piece that she brought.
All right.
Remember?
Well, I'll put some pressure on her.
Oh, to the Christmas party.
Yes. Yes. I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah, but you
Oh, I
got
think
something
Kathy
even
took that
better.
home. Didn't
Yeah.
she?
Somebody else got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you think about what you got in the frame. That was even better.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. We do like a white
Oh,
elephant
gosh.
on our Christmas party at Lynn's house
You know,
every
there's
year.
payback time.
Yeah. This year we'll have
They're not
another good
ready.
one. Yeah, that was one of the mugs. Did you watch the game I did? No. My wife's been dabbling in the buying and selling thing lately, and she gets all excited. Like I said, we're watching TV and her phone will beep. I sold something. It's so addicting. I know Doug would love it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, might not get rich necessarily, but it's fun.
Right.
All right, we're gonna wind this down. I'm tired and my throat hurts. But guys, I'll see you all Saturday. Everyone else will see you on Tuesday. So hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy hunting, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.
Good night.
Night, everybody.